Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all well. Today is Sunday, the 19th of October. It's a members show here on Tel. What a day we have had today. Today has been, if not as close as perfect as you can get on a Saturday. It started off with we had to play first, and a lot of the fans always dread playing first because you don't end up getting the result. And so we started the day by getting a result, and then we spent the day in joyous raptures about the game. We did as a Tottenham fan base, and then, or most of our fan base, should I say, and then in the evening, down on the south coast, there was another game, and that game went well as well. So all in all, for Tottenham Hotspur, it's been an absolutely fantastic day. And yeah, here to share it with you lovely people. The link's been sent out. It's on the community page. Anyone wants to come on, it's more than welcome. And I will start off with, what does it mean to the players? What did today mean to the players? We'll find out what it meant to the players. Let me have a look. Let me get it right first of all and say this is what it meant to the players today. Here we go.
Go! Okay.
Yes! Let's go!
And that's what it meant to the players. That's what it meant to the players when they came off the pitch today. Say hello to a few people in the chat. These were left a few hours ago, these three. It says, Jose, mate, looking forward to the member show, especially after Woolwich Wanderers losing at Bournemouth and having Saliba sent off. Just need a Chelsea player sent off tomorrow for the hat-trick. Ronnie, earlier on as well, said, what a great day. Sorry, what a great win, and the Woolwich lose. Come on, you Spurs. We have Destiny says, come on, you Spurs. I've just said, smash the like button. It's been just a fantastic Saturday all round. Got Johnny Bethnal Green says, evening, front wheel skids. How are you, Johnny? I hope you're well. Got Graham here says, evening, Jose, and to all in the chat. Quezza Lee is here saying coys. Tony from Early Doors Football is here saying, good evening, Jose. Good evening, Tony. Good man. Spoke to him earlier. Very, very good man. Side Dancer is here saying, hi, everyone. Destiny 5 says, Peri Peri wings out the oven, beers in, Tottenham win, and the show's on. Come on, you Spurs. Chris Peters is Kulu, the ginger from Sweden. Top man, the best man today. And Spurs Danalist, good evening, Dan says, good evening, Jose. Big up to everyone in the chat. Good win for Spurs today. Happy seeing those West Ham leaving early. Listen, guys, most of you that have commented are members. If you're members, come on. The link has been sent. This is a show for you guys. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Big 3 points get in from James L. Spurs. And first person who's popped on is Adrian.
Come on, you Spurs.
Adrian, I'm going to ask you the obvious in a minute. It's how are you? But you was at the game, mate. What was it all like? What happened? What unfolded? What the fans like?
Beginning, I thought the fans were a bit subdued to start with. I don't know why. I mean, I think it's just because, like, I don't know. I don't think we take it so important as West Ham do when we play them. I expected us to win. Obviously, like, the early goal was a annoyance more than anything else. But yeah, I mean, it was strange. We pressed them before we conceded a goal, which is what normally happens when we do concede a goal at the stadium. But I'm always confident we're going to get goals anyway, so I wasn't worried one goal down. It was more like frustrating than anything else. Yeah. But then once Kulu got the second, and knowing our record against them, 26 wins, you know, against them in the Premier League, I thought, we've got this. And it was just a question of when the goals were going to come. And I just thought Ange, you know, I thought Ange got his game management completely right this week, other than last week, which I thought he got it wrong. And yeah, we scored 3 quick fire goals in the second half. Really liked the goal when the Udogi passed the ball back, cut back for Basuma to score. Redeemed himself a bit because he was at fault with the first goal when Bowen did him. So you could make a case for when the ball comes across, why didn't someone else stop the goal? But then, like, you get in these situations where, like, you're trying to think of, like, well, in what phase of play do you want to blame the players for conceding a goal? If it's a player you don't like, Spurs fans will always blame that player, no matter what. But I get that. But no, it was good. I mean, like, Kulusevski took his goal well. It's a good pass from Madison, but I don't. Someone can correct me in the chat. I'm pretty sure that Solanke put a good ball through Madison for that before it started, but I might be wrong. I'm just not too sure. Yeah, but very impressed with. Tell you what, I was really impressed with Johnson's play today off the ball. He didn't score a goal, but boy, did he put a shift in. As did Solanke, who didn't score a goal. And last season, I think for Bournemouth, he scored a goal in both games against them. And I was sort of thinking, oh, you're going to score today, but he didn't. But he put a shift in, you know, and shored up the midfield, took matters off. I think that's the right thing to do. If he doesn't look like, all right, he got the assist for Kulu, but let's be fair, Kulu had to do a lot of work to score that goal after he got the assist. You know, he got the pass. And if you get them games where Maddis is like not quite on it, not quite trying to pick a pass out, it's just not, well, then hook him. Hook him. We got players on the bench to bring on. So that was that. I mean, Son's 4th goal. I mean, I think that's 3 goals and 3 assists in about 520 minutes. So he's far from finished, as some fans would say. And he like give to Thibaut the run around, didn't he? And he like got himself a yard of space and put the shot in. I don't think I want Areola as my goalkeeper, to be honest with you, from what I see today. I don't know what you thought from where you was watching. And I did only see once during the game when we were attacking, I think it was in the first half, where we did have 2 centre-backs on the halfway line. It was always 3 or 4. And Kulu, my God, what a season he's having. Pray he stays fit. He's immense, isn't he? And I thought Basuma ran him a close second for man of match. I thought Son was good, exceptionally good. And, yeah. And VDV got a booking, so I had to put him on my yellow card watch because he's on 3 bookings now. So,
yeah. So you got Spurs down. I'm not sure whether I read this out. It says, good evening, guys. A big up everyone in the chat. Good win with Spurs today. Happy seeing those West Ham leaving early. Nita is here. Nita's saying, hi, Jose. Hope you're well. Destiny's called you the Godfather as he came in. Adrian, hi to you from Nita. Spurs down is saying, is Kulu our best player at the moment? We can answer that in a minute. Destiny says that it's an early kickoff. Everyone's half asleep until 1 p.m. Got a big up Adrian from Dan as well again.
Thanks, Dan.
Chang says, today was the first and only time I've watched a league game live on the telly with both my daughters.
Oh,
it was fitting and poetic that Son scored our 4th at the hour mark at the stroke of 9 p.m. their bedtime.
Chang, you've got to let us know if your daughters have got Spurs shirts, yeah? Because I know you've got a host of them. You've got loads of them, yeah? Have your daughters got Spurs shirts?
So today's Sunday in Malaysia, and it's 5:15, coming up to 5:15 in the morning, and Chang's in the chat. Fantastic, Chang. That's commitment from you, sir. I hope you and your family are well. Marcos, who you met at the stadium, Adrian, says, good evening, amigo. ¿Cómo estás? What a day at the lane. Starting off thinking it's going to be another of those days at the lane. But then what a second half. And to top it off, Arsenal losing. Come on, you Spurs.
Well, not only that, Arsenal lost and got a player sent off. I mean, West Ham lost to us and got a player sent off. So we're on for the hat trick, aren't we? Like tomorrow, if Chelsea get a player sent off, although I think the best result will probably be a draw tomorrow, as we're still the quadruple's still on.
No.
Oh, no. So you got Nita. Sorry, Nita saying me always crazy when we win. Can cuss plenty when we do bad. Today's 3 points. Simples. Come on, you Spurs.
Yes.
Destiny said Son's proved today some rest in him. So resting time helped him. Then he says drop Madison as vice captain and put in Kulu. Graham says guys also got to give Solanke praise for his immense amount of work that he puts in. And then you've got the sheriff is here saying the quad is back on. And then we've got Tony saying he thinks there was 5 sending us today. Good evening, sir. Are you James Watts or are you somebody else?
I'm James Watts, yeah.
Cool, man.
What's your tag, James, on there?
Well, the game today?
No, on the you know, if you were dropping a comment, what would your name come up as?
James Watts.
Does it? Okay, I've not seen your name in the chat before, so I don't.
No, I'm a newly subscriber, so.
Oh, okay, so you was at the game today as well, James?
Yeah, it was all right today. I think a good 3 points. I think first half we were absolutely shocking. Yeah, we were poor. I like the lineup, but I want to get Michael Moore a go. I thought this would have been a perfect game to get Michael Moore a go.
Thursday against Alkmaar.
Yeah, but I just like when he brought Tino Werner on, I was like, well, just give Mikey Moore a go for the last how long he game on for. But yeah, it was a good win. I think we played well in the second half. We dominated. Like, I thought we were going to lose today because of West Ham. I thought 1-0 down, thought we were going to lose. But I was wrong. So good result. 3 points in the bag. Can't complain, can we?
You thought we were awful in the first half?
Yeah, I thought we were awful. I thought we were.
All the pressure we applied.
No, I just don't think we were good enough. We gave that goal away, sloppy defending like as always.
No,
we're just not good. We're just not good defensively. We're very all over the place. It needs to be tying up a bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, we had a blinding block late in the game on the line. I thought defensively, like when they pressed, we coped all right, but it was just a sloppy the first goal.
Yeah, but you should be defending that though. Getting that ball, you got to get that ball. This is the problem with that. It's too much. It needs to be chromatic a bit more than it isn't anymore. I like Ange, but it's not chromatic. It needs to be chromatic a bit more. And it's not. And we keep giving up those spaces in the defensive half. That's the problem. Do you get me? So.
Yeah, he can be proactive with his game management.
And then not.
No, if it's before half time, at half time he can be proactive. Other than that, the only way he can be proactive and use his game management is like with substitutes. Once the players cross the field, you know, you can't hang it all on the manager when things go wrong, especially if it's schoolboy errors like we saw against Brighton, when you had a perfect storm of defensive errors. But today we had one. And the thing under a system like this, you can get away with one and go away with a goal because you're always confident we've got a goal or two in us anyway to get back in the game, right? So that's not an issue with me. But I just can't do it when you have a perfect storm and like the whole back four makes errors like that happened at Brighton. Then like there's no excuse for that. It shouldn't happen. But like, even during
Brighton, even if you go a goal down, I would have brought Brasima straight on. You bring Brasima straight on at the second half when you conceded that first goal, then to reassure it just went the same. You can't really do that. I know it was defensive errors.
I would criticise Ange on that, not on the first goal. It's 48 minutes. You're 3 minutes into the second half. If you're going to make substitutes or you think about it, why not do them at half time? Before the
I agree, yeah. Right? But we were booming. You go
10 minutes later, James, on 58 minutes, when it's 2 each, then you make a change, right?
Yeah.
Then I wouldn't have done it. You don't panic 2-1. You win it, you're still winning the game. So, like, to me, you don't panic then. Like, I get Spurs fans being hindsight critics. They come and say, "Oh, we should." I think they're forgetting when Brighton scored their first goal. It was only 3 minutes into the second half, you know. So that 58 minutes, yes, I critique him on that. That's game management. It's down to him. I critique him on his press conference when he said, oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I do want to make subs because I don't win ugly and all that. Hang about. We won ugly against Coventry, right? You know, I mean, like, and I'll take any win, whether they're ugly or not, right? So, like, I don't go with that. But, no, I mean, like, today was different. I mean, it was good. It was good. I mean, I was impressed with quite a few players out there. I mean, especially Kulu. And
Oh, yeah, he was brilliant. He was really good. I really liked his performance.
They couldn't cope with his driving runs and that. And he's such a good out ball anyway. If you need someone to be there holding up, like
I thought Solanke was good.
Balls coming to him, he reminds me a lot of Dennis Bergkamp in the way that, like, when the ball's coming to him, he's always quick, head to the turn. He's having a look round before the ball's got there. You always see it from him. He's got such good vision, right?
And he's very good on the ball, isn't he?
Yeah. He's got a delicate touch. Doesn't always come off when he tries all that intricate stuff. But I just think he's a superb footballer.
I thought Solanke had a good game. Good at holding the ball up.
Solanke ran his socks off, right? Again, didn't score. He scored in both games for Bournemouth.
Yeah, but this system doesn't work for him. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities in the squad. That's why he's not scoring a lot.
He will. I'll tell you what, who really had a good game off the ball was come under criticism as well, Brennan Johnson.
No, I don't think he had a good game. I didn't see him for half the game.
Fair enough. It's subjective. Fair enough.
And yeah.
You know, like you say, Solanke and that. Yeah.
Son had a good game. Good finish.
He looked sharp.
Knew he was going to go that in the back of the net. That was when you knew that, didn't you?
Yeah. You consider it was Son, and like when he got the through ball, and then he's run on, and then he jockeyed to Bieber, and then I thought, what's he going to do here? And actually, he scored inside the post, which is where you think, well, if you go across, if someone's running on a far side and you miss it, someone will run in and get it. But no, he took the goal well. I think there's 3 goals and 3 assists in 520 minutes. Not bad for a player that some Spurs fans think is finished.
Mm-hmm. So what? So you was in the Adrian. You was in the South Stand, weren't you?
No,
where was you?
East Upper.
Oh, you was in the East
I'm
Upper.
right next to the South Stand though,
okay.
but I'm up on the.
Guys, I'm sorry, I've got to shoot.
Okay, James, thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Bye.
Come on, mate. Well done. Let me say hello to a few people here while we're doing this. Who we got? Nita says Kulu and Bentoncourt are top dogs in our team. Biss got the job done today, and he did what he needed to do. Goal in the net. We got Peter. Peter's here. Good morning to you, Peter. He says hi, all 8:17 a.m. in Melbourne. Are you making an appearance, Peter? The member link is in the community section. Destiny 5 says spot on, mate. Get more on, not Werner. And he says I'm happy Ange hooked Madison. Well done, Gaffer. AJ is here saying big up Jose, big up AJ, sir. Peter is tongue-in-cheek saying to everyone, Ange out now, and laughing his head off. Side Dancers here says the West Ham goal, all of the defence got sucked into the ball and left the back post free. Nita says we ain't perfect yet. Defence is our weakness just now. Need to fix up now. 7 games in. Destiny, no one would have guessed the second half 2-2 is when you make subs. Mr. Shear is here. Good morning to you, Mr. Shear. Geez, are we on about this game or the previous one? Move on for FFS. Good morning. I'm glad you've woken up in a good mood, sir. I don't know whether you went to bed in a good mood, but you've certainly woken up in one. Nita says, Ange out partying tonight. We got 3 points. Simple. Give it a rest. Next. Destiny says, Solanke sacrifices his chances for the team. He's got a great work rate. Nigel Pure Coys. Nige says, I've seen some of Nigel's comments. So he says, nothing to complain about today. We won 4-1. Happy days. We won 4-1 first game of the day. And then there was a game this evening as well, Nige. And that has rounded off the Saturday. If Carlsberg made Saturdays, today is that day. Daniel Coy says, big up Tony, mate. And big up to you, Daniel. Good evening, AJ. How are you this evening?
Jose, can you go back to Nita's comment 10:15? Because I think this is relevant.
Yeah, but I'm asking AJ how he is first. I'll go back to
No, you, AJ.
I'm good, boys. I'm good, very good. It's a silly question to ask a Spurs fan how they're feeling at this particular moment in time. Absolutely stuffed spam for one.
Well,
Abuse
I've got a
them.
question for the chat and for both of you when we go back to if Jose go back to Nita's comment on 10:15.
I've gone back to her comment, mate. I've gone back to her comment. Right, so you want me to put a comment up?
Oh, yeah, because I was surprised. I don't know if you two were. I know Jose's a big fan of Bentancur. I was surprised that Bentancur didn't start because, like, he would have been fresh. He's suspended from Uruguay. And in the chat, what do you think on this as well? Like, you know, because, like, I was surprised Basuma started over Bentancur. Now, does it mean that deep down Ange really prefers Basuma over Bentancur in that sort of a position? I mean, I was surprised Basuma started over him. I don't know what you two thought.
Go on, AJ, you can take it because I've been talking already. So
Yeah, I was just going to say, I personally would have started Bentancur, but then I'm not the manager. What do I know? And started Basuma, and we won the game. You know, so I think he's making the call to bring Sarr on at half time was a huge call, and I have no doubt a lot of people were like, "What is he doing? He's taking off one of our most creative players." And it was a huge gamble. It was a huge gamble, but he was proactive instead of reactive. It changed the game. And I think, who are we to judge? You know, we give him grief if he makes the wrong decisions. We give him grief and we second guess everything. If we overly criticize the things that he does that doesn't pay off. He got the setup right, the personnel right. He made the right decisions, the right calls at the right time, and we won the match. So regardless of what any of us would or wouldn't do, I personally wouldn't have started Basuma, but he scored. So, I mean, if this is a sign that Ange is picking and choosing the personnel depending on the game and who he thinks can contribute best, if he's going to keep getting it right, if he's going to keep making calls like this and being proactive, it can only be a positive thing, right?
Yeah, it worked, didn't it? I mean, like,
Absolutely.
It didn't work bringing Werner on as an impact sub. I know we're going to be using Werner throughout the season. He's going to be used because all the squad will be used. But his touch was awful and he didn't get into the game at all. And he just looked totally lacking in confidence to me.
I agree. Absolutely agree. But this is the thing. He's there, isn't he? He's like it or not. And this is what I've tried to explain to people. Like it or not, Werner is here. And because he is here, he's taking up a space. It would be stupid not to utilize him because he does have strengths. Yes, his first touch isn't great and he is sloppy and he can't finish for anything, but he does hold the line. He does keep the width. He does get in behind. He does stretch that defense.
Yeah.
So use him as an impact player. Use him in the last 10 minutes of a game to close the game out, to run, to stretch his legs, to commit, make the defenders commit. You're going to have to use him. What's preferable? Using him from the start or using him in the last 10 minutes? Either way, he's going to get game time because he's here. You're not going to have him take up a squad place and not play him. So the last 5 or 10 minutes to close a game out when we're already cruising, absolutely. But yeah, I do feel really sorry for him because it's just like watching a footballer that's lost, or any sportsman that's lost complete use of their limbs. Like the brain isn't quite wired up. I feel so sorry for him because each performance each time he gets on the pitch, you're looking at him thinking, do something. Give the fans a reason to cheer for you. Like, give the fans a reason to be like, you know what? Actually, maybe he's not that bad. But it just seems to get worse and worse every time.
I get we all want the players to do well. I get that. But to me, you know, you're the player. It's on to you to change your game, improve your game in training and all that. It's down to you. So sympathy so much. A little bit. No, I'm not all in on a sympathy for a player. Like you're paid to produce the goods, you know.
Absolutely.
So like if you're not producing the goods, then sorry, I just see him as an impact sub when everyone's fit, and he may have an impact, and he may score the odd goal, and he may get the odd assists, and if he does that for the team, but if we're in a cup final tomorrow and everyone's fit, he's nowhere near the squad, is he?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even bring him on. I wouldn't even be bringing him on to close the game out.
He's got no future at Spurs after this. We took him in. I think the only reason we took him on loan, and two, I'll have him because we weren't sure what other business we would do. It was a loan. It was an easy deal to do, and we done it. Right. This is before getting like Min Hyuk in as well, you know. So yeah. So I just think like he's just a stopgap. He's got no future at Spurs, and like they'll let him go at the end of the season. He'll be gone.
Yeah. I just want to quickly address the other part of Nita's message, Kulu. That boy, and I will say boy because let's face it, I mean, he's barely a man. What is he, 23, 24?
24, I think now.
He's still so young. What a player. What an absolute player he is. He is incredible. He is strong. He is resilient. He is an absolute workhorse. He has got such a deft touch on him. His creativity is up there with Maddison's when Maddison is at his best. But Kulu is doing this game in, game out. For me, Kulu is the first name on that team sheet. The defense picks itself, but Kulu is the first name on that team sheet because everything we are doing at the moment, everything we're creating, everything that's good about us going forwards goes through him.
Yeah, and he's always the outball as well. You can't get the ball off him all the time. So like
aggressive carries, he's a machine.
He is the engineer in midfield, you know. He's got the skill, the vision, the deft touch. Like, I mean, I see all this before, and I mean, like, I couldn't understand why he was Marmite to Spurs players last season. When he first came in, we got him in January. He got 8 goals and so many assists in half a season. And I think all fans were expecting him to reproduce his debut season, half-season form and kick on. It didn't quite happen. Even Ange said last season, you know, even Kulu knows he hasn't produced the form that we know he can perform. I'm like, now he's just been moved a little bit inside. He's sort of hybrid 8-10. He looks like to have found his niche, doesn't he?
Absolutely, mate. 100%. Long may it continue.
You're muted, Jose.
Sorry. Good evening, Tony, as I was saying.
Good evening, Jose. Good evening, gents. How are we all?
You're brave to be on here, Tony. I've got to admit.
He's not.
You
I
have
saw
to
him
face
earlier.
it up, don't you? At the end, you got to face it. Well,
Of course you have, Adrian. That's the thing, you know. What's the point? I mean, you know, for Will, you've been there yourself.
yes.
You've still got to
Last
face
week.
Last week. Exactly. So, you know, you've got to be there at some point. Why not today? And fair play to Spurs. I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, you dominated throughout the whole of 90 minutes. Basically, we had spells, but just not enough to give you a game. Basically, and in the second half, well, it was just a collapse from West Ham. But fair play to Spurs.
Yeah, you caught us early on. I mean, we did press a bit. I mean, we had a lot of corners in that first half.
Yeah.
So it was enough to unnerve your supporters. Was you actually at the game or watching?
No, I watched it. I mean, like the first goal. I mean,
it's better when you're not there when you lose. It always is, isn't it? You know what I mean? But
it is that. You know, for me, Bowen's not been at his usual best, and you know he was lucky to get that ball into the box. I think more than anything else. And yeah, you was caught napping, and Kudos put the goal in the back of the net. But other than that, we didn't really, you know, create much at all. We pulled off a couple of saves, but that was
Kudos is good on the ball, though, isn't he? He is good.
Oh yeah, he's superb. I mean,
he's tricky. I don't know how he's performed for you. I mean, like with West Ham, it seems to be one promising season and a letdown season and a promising season. I mean, we've been through that ourselves, you know, but our squad has been upgraded. But with our squad, we failed better in the what I call failed better in the transfer window, but we've got young players that are developing like Sarr, Udogie, VDV, and Johnson, who started well this season. I wanted him. I didn't want him at the club originally when I watched him on videos and that. And then we've added like Bergvall, Gray, Min Hook, who's coming in, and they're also young players that are going to have to come in and develop as well. So like, if we're always going to be playing, like we say, Vicario is 26, 27. If Basuma and Bentancur play together, 26, 27, you know, all right, Son's 31, 32. Slank is about 26, 27. But we're always going to be playing with like half a team or 5 players that are still developing. And I think that's where our mistakes are coming, you know. So, and young players will make mistakes. It's not that they're not good. They wouldn't be in the team if they didn't have the skill set and the potential. But it's just that I think a lot of our fans and all fan bases really going hard on their teams when they lose, right? They do, right? They've all got their favourites. And if there's 2 players responsible for a goal, they always blame the one they don't like rather than the other one, right? Because that's normal, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, you think to yourself, well, I look at our squad. I think it's stronger than last year, basically because I think Bergvall and Gray have got a better skill set than Højbjerg and the skipper we let go. So I think it's better in that respect. And we brought Solanke in as well, who absolutely works his socks off. Like, you know, I don't think there's a harder working forward in the league.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? He just runs and runs and runs. But there's an intelligence to it. He's not just a headless chicken.
Well, yeah, there is, isn't it? The whole point of the high press is that, like, your centre forward presses the 2 opposing team's centre backs. In theory, your wingers press the opposing team's fullbacks. Your fullbacks press their wingers. Your wingers match up. Your midfielders match up with their midfield. And the whole idea is, I mean, you beat the press 2 ways when that happens. You're either good enough to play through the press, or you hit long balls out to the wings or straight down the centre to your centre forward. But the idea is when you're pressing, the idea is like you press the team so hard you don't give them time on the ball. So they're sort of hitting long balls forward in the hope that their sole striker's going to get it or their winger out the wing's going to get it. So that's what they call setting traps for them. If people in the chat don't know, right, I'm sure they're well informed, probably do know, right, as you guys, like, you know. But and so you do that. So I see that today at West Ham. They did it quite a few long balls, but you're trying to beat the press, right? And when it works, we'll lose games. We'll concede 2 or 3 or whatever it is, you know. We still got every chance of scoring goals the way we play, though. I'm always, when we go 1 goal down, I don't get too nervous under this system because I think, well, we're going to either lose this 2 or 3 or we're going to score 2 or 3. Whereas in years gone by, if we went goal down, you'd probably think, oh, where are we going to get a goal from, you know? But, like, it's different. I mean, you've got good players. I like Paqueta and all that. He got booked today, but when I've seen him play in the past, he's got that temperament, isn't he, that you think, like, he's always like 10 seconds away from a booking. But he is a good player. I mean, like, lots of teams would take him. Your front three
is at the moment, the pressure, I think, is more on, you know, not so much the players, it's definitely on Lopetegui. I mean, he's admitted today after this game that, you know, he needs to communicate himself a lot better to the players. But, you know, full well, I mean, when you had it when you sold Gareth Bale and you bought all those players in, and it was a complete disaster. You know, when you look at it with us, we've signed 9 players, 1 on loans. There's 10 players in effect, and you can't play them all at once. And
well, you saw it with Chelsea, didn't you? You saw it with Chelsea last season.
Yeah,
you can't do it.
750 million players that they've signed. I mean, you know what I mean, AJ. You can't, when you've got something like that, you can't. You want consistency, and because we've signed all these players in, he's tinkered too many. You know, this season so far, he's tinkered too much. And you can't have a kind of win and a loss, and a win and a loss, and a win and a loss. That's not good ethics for any football club.
And your back 4 needs to settle down. And like from an outsider, I've got serious questions about your goalkeeper today.
Oh, but, you know,
Tony said it earlier.
Yeah, everyone's saying that. Yeah, we you know, there's a lot of question marks on him today, especially. He was very hesitant what decision to do. Do I come out for the ball or not? I think there was a bit in the first half. I think it was about 10 minutes into the game when Johnson got the ball and he whizzed it over. He went in the top right-hand corner, having goal of the season. And he was just motionless.
But Tadebo's a good defender. He needs time.
Effective.
Tadebo needs time to settle in. I mean, he's a good defender. And it's like you build relationships and partnerships with whoever's playing alongside you. We've still got to get Dragusin to build a relationship with either VDV or Romero. That hasn't happened yet. He looks a good player, but otherwise, like, you get one defender who doesn't know where to stick or twist in certain situations because he's not sure, you know? And like, I thought it was unlucky with the own goal. I mean, that's just unlucky. It's just the way it happens. But I mean, like, it's like, I queried before the game. I said, like, although we got a good record against you, 26 wins, like after West Ham, after Everton, 31. Believe it or not, 31 wins we've got. Our next best win ratio is actually against Man City, 28. Right, we are their bot team, right? And then it's you guys on 26 or 27 now, you know. So. And I looked at your goal difference, and I haven't seen a lot of West Ham. I know you beat Ipswich 4-1. No disrespect to Ipswich, right? But it is Ipswich who are struggling a bit to find their feet in the Premier League. We don't know if they'll survive or not. But your goals difference was like 10 scored, 11 against. Ours was like 14-8 plus 6. We averaging 2 goals a game, even after that debacle at Brighton. And I just felt confident. Well, we're at home. Listen, I'm always confident when we're at home, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? You're at home. If you got to believe you're going to win your home games. What's the point? You know what I mean? So, like,
yeah, cool. I mean, funny if you said about Slaney. He's always enjoyed scoring against West Ham, so I was quite surprised that he didn't get the score sheet today.
And even the lesser teams in the Premier League, let's be fair, right? They don't stay in the Premier League on their away games, do they? They take the odd scalp now, and they're like, everyone's surprised. I'm not surprised. How do you think they stay in the Premier League? You know, that happens. It could happen like it happened today with like Arsenal. You know, Saliba gets sent off, you know, and they get stuffed 2-0, which we're all sniggering about, you know, sort of. West Ham will be fine because you've got good forwards. I mean, whether you need to bring in a younger one now, Antonio's like approaching his 50th birthday, you know what I mean? Or not? I mean,
that. I mean, full crew. We don't know when he's going to feature because I mean,
what's his injury then? What is his injury?
It's classed as being his
journeyman's his injury.
That's classed as
being a journeyman's his injury. Right. Sorry, can I just interrupt?
Yes, you can't. It's your show, Josie. Don't you be so cheeky as to interrupt. Right?
Peter Gagaias has just gifted 5 channel memberships. Very kind of you. They've gone to Kuva 99, Bob Down Under, Jim Van der Bowden, Matty Kushner, and Carol. And then Matty, so you have to thank Peter Gagaias. Matty's then come in and flexed his 1 month membership and said, "Big up, come on, you Spurs. I'm first in your fantasy league. Are you, Matty? There's still some more games to play tomorrow, mate." But if you're
I'm not doing well, I know that.
But if you're top tonight, well done, Matty. Good evening, Dan. How are you, Dan?
Hi, Dan.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's well. Hi, Jose. Hi, Adrian. Hi, AJ, and Early Doors Football.
It's Tony. Tony from Early Doors.
Tony, yeah. First of all, I just want to say a big thank you, Jose, for getting me involved in the community. I'm new to this YouTube world and just trying to navigate myself. So big thank you, and big thank you to everybody involved in this Spurs community, because, you know, you've made me feel welcome. And so just want to big up everybody. Yeah.
If you want to stay on the right side of me, you need to call me Jose. I'm not Jose.
Jose. Sorry, buddy.
I'm Spanish, not Portuguese.
Not Portuguese, yeah. He's not
Dan, I can tell you, he's not small. He's a big old fellow, Jose. I've met him. For real, he's a big old fella.
Yeah, we've all met him.
Well, we can blame Mourinho for that, I think.
Yeah, Tone, you're not on the small side, are you? You were taller than me, and I thought, God, you're a unit as well, big time.
I just want to say, I haven't got too long because I'm just on my work break, but I just thought I'd come in and say hello, and
fantastic.
come in for a bit.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. You're in the right group. If you need any help, you've got so many people in the group that will help you out, Dan.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Thank you
I mean,
very much.
you've seen the toing and froing in the group already, what people are doing and what people say and that. And yeah, if you need any help and guidance, the group will always help you out. Someone in the group will be able to answer questions and help you out. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you.
No worries whatsoever.
Dan, did you watch the game today? You wasn't at the game, I take it.
No, I wasn't at the game. I watched it. Yeah, I'm very happy with the result. How can you not be? It was a good second half performance, and yeah, I was. You know, it's great to beat West Ham. You know, we've lost at them at home the last couple of matches, so yeah,
Last
yeah,
one.
it was a very good result, weren't it? And as well adapting, which was good. Some good performances. So yeah, we can't complain, can we? You know, we have to celebrate when we win, and enjoy this moment.
Yeah,
I wasn't happy with
I
the first
agree.
team that I wasn't happy when West Ham were the first team to beat us at the stadium. They did the same to Arsenal though. When Arsenal moved into their new stadium, they won there as well. I mean, like they do have an annoying habit, West Ham, of irking us. You know what I mean? And
You're welcome, Adrian. You're most welcome.
Tony,
I've got a
can I ask
question
you?
for Tony.
Go on in. Go on, AJ.
I just want to know, as a West Ham fan, what he made of the Kudus situation, the sending off. I know
Well,
what Tottenham fans think.
I've got a question here already from Graham, who's asked a question.
All right.
Yeah, I think you're asking the same. I mean, you would have put Clubber Lang. You would have made Clubber Lang proud. I think if you look at it,
I think
mean,
it
they're
was 4,
saying
not
about
3.
the 3 red cards. I think the Richarlison one, I think someone pushed into Kudos that sent him over. But the one thing you don't do, regardless of it being Kudos at any player, you don't put a hand in someone's face,
yeah,
let
you
alone
don't
these
really.
players. You know, you just don't do that kind of thing. And I get it from him. You know, his body language just shows frustration. And I think it's the fact of you could see that, and like Adrian's already mentioned, we've got some good players coming into the team, but you've got to get them to work. And if they're not working, players do get frustrated. So when you look at something like that, a little bit of nip and tuck with Van der Ven, and of course he's reacted. But yeah, there's a bit of overreaction for Van der Ven when he did get shoved in the face.
Yeah.
But like I said, you just don't put hands in. You know, the law tells you that. You know, the football laws tell you don't put hands in someone's face.
But he was booting. He was booting Van der Ven on the floor as well. Before he even did that, that's why
He
Van
was
der Ven.
polishing his shoes, Jose. That's what he was doing.
Van der Ven went up.
In his
He
feet.
was his shoes. He was just polishing his shoes up.
Van der Ven got up and went like that to him. He's like, "You're getting mad."
Oh, he weren't standing giving him a kick.
When he done that, when he said to him, "Look, you're mad," and that, he then pushed him in the face. Yeah, the SARS pushed Kudos, and Kudos has whacked the back of Richie.
That was more like a punch, wasn't it? Like almost that could have been a punch. Like he's hit Sar in the face with some force.
Yeah, but then Sar, then he's hit Sar afterwards as well.
I could have lived with a yellow card there. I'm a bit. I don't like all this slight feathery touch on the face and players fall down like a sack of shit. Right? I don't like all that. I don't like all this feigning injury when it's not a head injury because you've lost possession of the football and you want referee to stop play so you can reset, refresh. Don't like all that either. But then I'm old school, so.
Adrian, did you know as soon as that happened, when you know, Van der Ven was quick up on his feet, wasn't he, at the referee?
Well, he wasn't hurt. I mean, what did Richarlison go down for?
It's because it's Richarlison.
It looked more like Richarlison ran into. To be fair, I mean there was a bit of an argy-bargy with Mickey, weren't there, and then with Sar, but it looked more like Richarlison was running over and he's just run into him. That's what it looked like to me. It just looked like a coming together. I don't think Kudus did anything particularly to Richarlison.
No, I don't think he did. I don't think it was anything. You know, it was the push from Sar.
And then why do you? If it ended up with just a yellow card on Kudos, I could have lived with that, right? But he gets the red, and before the red, he gets a yellow, and Kulusevski gets a yellow, which I thought was a bit bizarre. I mean, like, if you're pulling someone for a foul up, who's the one in the wrong who gets the yellow card? I mean, was it for a little bit of pushing, a little bit of handbags, or?
Could be something he said. We just don't know at that stage.
Yeah.
I've got a question here that Dan's asked, so instead of us answering, I'll let Dan go first, and then we can answer it after that. He says, "Is Kulu our best player at the moment?" So
Definitely.
Dan's asked the question, but now he's come on the show. So go on, Dan, answer your question, mate, and then we'll go round.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really impressed with Kulu since he's moved into the middle, and we saw a little bit of it last season. But if you look at his performances, yes, you know, he's the whole game he's not at it, but he's I think he's been fantastic, and I definitely think he has been our best player this season. I mean, I mean, he's the captain of Sweden at the moment. His confidence is high, and I think there's going to be more to come from him. Obviously, we need that consistency throughout the season, but I mean, the signs are good. And I mean, and today he relied on he could take Maddison off and not worry so much because he knew Kulu was really playing well. So look, I'm interested to know what everyone thinks, and you know, everyone on the panel and in the chat, because I think, you know, it's a bit of a masterstroke for man moving him into the middle.
AJ, what do you reckon? We'll pass it on to AJ, then we'll go afterwards. What do you think, AJ?
Kulu's my favourite player. He has been since he arrived. He exploded for us. He's been dependable since then. Even if his form's dipped, even if the output hasn't been the same, he's still been a player that you know is going to put a shift in. And he is happy to play in whatever position the manager needs him to help the team. That's what he thinks. Help the team. How can I help the team? His work rate is second to none, except for Solanke. That man is on something else. But the defensive work Kulu gets through, as well as being our engine and our creative outlet, for me, he is the most important player to have currently on that pitch. I think he's exceptional. I think at the moment he gets into any team in the Premier League. Any team.
I can't argue with that. If you look at pre-season, only he had more assists if people finished the chances he gave them. I mean, pre-season, he got 3 goals and 4 assists, didn't he? So he started well in pre-season. 2 of the goals were against Bayern Munich. They're not the easiest opposition, right? And he's just got such good vision. And he's not slow. Some players think he's slow because they expect him to be one of these out-and-out fast whippet wingers. But he's not
deceivingly quick, isn't he? He's a lump. He's a big, strong, solid lump.
He's very hard to dispossess. He's got good vision. Whenever the balls come to him, like Dennis Bergkamp, I always look at him like he's always looking. He takes a look over his shoulder, even when the ball comes to him. He knows what to do straight away, you know, and doesn't always come off when he tries something. I just think he's a fantastic player. I really do.
And an opposing fan's point of view, what's your point of view, Tony? Because you're obviously an opposing fan. He's not one of your players, but what do you think on Kulusevski, mate?
I mean, I already answered Dan in the chat. I mean, for me, yeah, he's your most current top form player at the moment, and followed by that is Johnson. They're your 2 informed players at the moment, I'd say. But yeah, he's a great player, you know, and you can see, I mean, he made a big difference today. He was actually kind of helping the flow of the football moving forward. He got himself involved in certain areas, and of course, you know, the shot and the goal that summed up his day.
So for me, in answer to your question, Dan, I go back to last season. So I forget about the 6 months from his first season, where he done really well and he exploded in the first 6 months. Last season, however, I said at Christmas and January time, I said, with everything that happened to Tottenham all the way through the first 4 or 5 months of the season, the person that carried Tottenham was Kulusevski. And Kulusevski absolutely was burnt out come January, February time, because we had all the suspensions, we had all the injuries and that. Kulu played every single game. Kulu played right wing, Kulu played in the middle, Kulu played up front. Kulu played up front. I remember Kulu dropping back into wing back and playing wing back as well, or full back if you like. He played in every position, and I remember him being the battering ram last year when we lost Basuma when he got sent off, and in the Chelsea game when we went down to 10 and 9 players in the Chelsea game. Kulu was our battering ram up front. He was the one that was taking the buffetings and the beatings from the other players, because we just kept playing the ball up to Kulu, hoping that it would stick with Kulu to get us up the pitch. So I felt that Kulu was a really important player for us last season and was so underrated. People will turn around and say that the player of the year last season, a lot of people said it was Vicario, and a lot of people said it was, somebody else. And I just said to people, what about Kulu? Kulu's carried us. Now, Kulu wasn't playing last season in the position that he's playing now, but he was Superman for us last season, for me, for the first 5 months. Carried us, but he has been a different level in the first 8-10 games of the season. He's been different levels, and he's been absolutely brilliant.
When he first came, he had 2 like 15-20 minute cameos, and the fans being what fans are, oh, he's rubbish, he's slow, he's this, that, and the other. Then he got his full debut away at Man City, and he turns up in big games because Son squared the ball for him to score, right? And he scored. Then you look like you've alluded to last season, Jose, right? Away at Luton when Bassoon was sent off, VDV scored. If it weren't for Kula, we'd have lost that game, right? He held it together. And he's done it a few times before. If he hadn't been in this team, right, we'd have been screwed, right? And he does turn up in big games. Nothing intimidates him. And he is a lump. He's very hard, to get the ball off of, I mean...
You got Mikey Romero says, evening family, how are you? We're fine. How is it in New York? Mikey, I've got it pinned. It's in the community page. Anyone that looks at the community page, it's only members can see the message I've put in there. The link is in there for people to come on. So if you're a member, come on. Kuba's thanking Peter for his membership. Leo is here saying, big up homies. The same refers to you, Leo. The link is in the chat. I've put it in there. There we go. The members link is in the community page if you want to come on. It's your show. You're the members. It's the show's for you guys. Ronnie says he hit Sar in the face as well, but Sar just stayed up at him. Nige is saying about Dan. He said Dan doing his best Bohemian Rhapsody impression. We've got Lisa La Chica saying good evening, Jose, panel and chat. And did we have any more in here? Yeah, we've got Nita says red card all day long. VAR did their job, hands down. West Ham hooligans. I don't know about the hooligans, but I don't know about the hooligans, anyone. But it did remind me of the old 70s and 80s when the old handbags used to be on the pitch. That there wasn't no handbags being thrown by Tottenham. Kudos just went mad, didn't he? Kudos was a one-man wrecking machine, and no one was hitting him back or anything like that. It's just Kudos just went wild. So do you lose him? You lose him for 3 games, don't you?
3 games we're losing 4 now. And the only kind of saving grace, hopefully, if Lopetegui does it, is he gives Somerville a chance.
Which is what you were discussing earlier on Two Sides of a Pitch podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just going to move this on a second, right? Because I've been invited to 2 shows tomorrow night, right? And I'm thinking I'm going to split my time in both shows, right? But what I wanted to ask you, Tony, is I've never ever been on your show when Arsenal have lost. So what's Anthony and Jez like?
Anthony's absolutely fuming at the moment, for one.
Yeah, but what are they like on your shows when they've lost? Because I've never been on a show. I've never seen them lose. They've not lost.
It's just verbal diarrhea.
Is it?
Literally verbal diarrhea, because it's all about Arteta and everything else, and these choices, and this man is a fraud, and you'll hear it. Yeah, it's quite entertaining. Put it that way.
Is it? Because I'll be honest with everyone. I'm going to be brutally honest with anyone. I have not watched the Arsenal game. I know what's happened, but I did not watch the Arsenal game. Didn't bother watching it. So for me, I didn't have to go through whatever happened in the game. I just saw the results coming through and the red cards coming through. Although I saw in loads of people commenting that Raya was getting sent off, but he didn't get sent off. So I don't know what happened. People were saying it should have been a red card or something. I don't know. I didn't watch the game.
Yeah.
What happened in the Arsenal game? Was it that Bournemouth were good? Was it Arsenal were bad? Was it because they lost their players? I don't know.
Yeah, I think when Saliba got sent off, that kind of upset the equilibrium, basically. Saka not being there as well. There was no kind of creativity from them. And Bournemouth, given their dues, they actually played well. They actually created some good chances. Arsenal gave them way too much respect and space. It allowed them to push forward and exploit gaps that what you've seen from Arsenal so far, it's you haven't seen it in the last couple of games, but this one particularly, they could just literally come forward. But Raya, I think there's a question mark. Should have been ascended off. There was a defender just to, I think it was the left of him, so you can't say exactly was the last man. But even though the players skipped past him, if you look at his other arm, he's actually caught him. That's why the penalty was given. Arsenal fans,
guys, I've got to jump off. Guys, sorry to interrupt you, but I've got to jump off. But, I'm going to have to come on for longer. I've just got to work out the time. And it's been lovely to meet you all. And enjoy the rest of the show. And have a good evening, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Dan. Take
lovely
care,
to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
So in the nutshell, should Raya got sent off or not? No.
No, I don't think it was a sending off.
I mean, I've got to watch. I'm doing this show, but I'll probably after the show, I'll probably go watch a match of the day because I've got it recording, so I can probably see the highlights then.
I think there was something that happened at the beginning of the game because I missed that part, and they said he should have gone in.
Oh, really?
The game. I think they were saying, yeah, apparently.
Okay.
But I missed that part. I wasn't in for that part of the game.
So you reckon that your mates? I'm going to call them your mates for now. So you reckon your mates are going to say it was all Lego Head's fault? It was not the players' fault that let Lego Head down. It's all going to be Lego Head's fault.
Because even then they're saying like the Sleeper one. I mean, Jez will say the Sleeper one wasn't a sending off. But not being funny, as soon as you put your arm across someone and you pull them, and you're the last man, the law says.
Look who we've got. We've got Lawrence in the house. Good
Larry.
evening, Lawrence. There he is. Evening from Lexington, Kentucky. Come on your irons. Good evening, Lawrence. I hope you're well, sir. I hope you're well. So I haven't seen it. I mean, it's going to make your show interesting tomorrow.
David Shears just asking when is the show on. It's 8 p.m. UK time.
Yeah, 8 p.m. David on a Sunday evening, which will make it 3 o'clock in the morning for you, David. I'm sure it's 3 o'clock. You're still 7 hours ahead, David, aren't you? I think where you are. If you are still 7 hours ahead, it'll make it 3 in the morning for you, mate. Because at the moment, if I'm right, it's 6 o'clock in the morning for you now. So, Daniel Coyes say, I know a certain person who Tony does know who will never blame Lego Head.
Yeah, that's the brother-in-law. He is Arteta in. Staunch Arteta in.
Well, he won an FA Cup.
Back in the day, Adrian, he won a cup and that was it. There's nothing else after that. A couple of dinner plates and nothing else.
He won it with somebody
else. We'll take an FA Cup. Don't worry about that.
He won it with somebody else's team, though.
Exactly.
He won it with Emery's team. It wasn't his team, Arteta, when he won it.
Does it matter?
Like Wenger did. Wenger kind of lived off of George Graham's team. And then when that defence started to get aged itself out, that's when you see the cracks appearing, and of course, they wanted him out. Arteta is exactly the same thing. He kind of lived off of Emery's team.
You have Lawrence saying Spurs was a quality team, but our play was awful. I blame the manager and players. No leadership. Do you know what? I went on to Oso Spurs on their podcast because I saw someone put a comment in there, and I thought I'd go on, and I went on for 5 minutes. They wanted to keep me on the show, but I said, "No, I've only come to answer one comment that I've seen in your chat." And what my comment was, and Adrian, you would have heard me say this before, right? Every time that we play anybody, and it doesn't matter who we're playing, I always hear people in the fan base say, "Oh my God, they've got." So today it would have been, "Oh my God, West Ham, Kudus, Paqueta, and Bowen, and Antonio, they're gonna cook us, man. They're gonna cook us." I hear this every game. Doesn't matter who we play. There's always players that are gonna cook us. And I turn around.
Get opposing fan bases say the same when they're playing. You do. It's just. I think it's just pre-match nerves.
But this is our fans that say it, and
they use it as reverse psychology. I think a lot of times.
I keep saying all the time, and I went on to that podcast earlier, and I said, why don't people actually turn around and say every team, doesn't matter who you're playing against, every team's going to have their strengths. but they're also going to have their weaknesses, like every team, right?
Mm.
But I always say, why don't you look at the other way around and look at what you can do as the team, what's within your gift to take the game away from someone else or not let them impose their game on you. And that's what we should be concentrating on. What can we do to win a game and to stop other teams from playing against us? And I just don't get all this,
I don't exactly that.
So
I live a mile and a half from the stadium, and people say, "Oh, you're a bit delusional." This, I said, "No, I'm just positive." I said, "Look, I'm a season ticket holder, right? I'm not leaving my house, right, and going to our home stadium, our fortress. If I think we're going to lose a game, I don't care who we're playing. It's just not the way my mind works." Now, you've got extroverts and introverts out there and people who think in different ways for different reasons. That's fair enough, but it's not me. I'm always positive, right, when we're playing at home, right? Because I believe, and we've shown it. I mean, like, we've beaten Man City at home, we've beaten Liverpool at home, we've beaten Man United at home, beating these teams at home, Now, traditionally, Man United were big spenders, and when they come, they could afford to have a better squad than we ever had back in the day when they had Bestlaw and Charlton bunch. We had a decent team even back then, right? Very good team, the double side and all that. So, yeah, but like for the majority of the eras, Man United have always been out to make sure they maintained a certain level, even if they weren't at their best, because they could afford to be at a certain level. Even now, I mean, this gets me like the fan base. Den Hag's won 2 trophies and fans want his head out. If we'd won 2 trophies, we'd be putting a statue outside the Spurs ground for the manager, right? This is different. West Ham are probably doing the same as well. This is the difference. They seem to think that they have a divine right to win things or win the championship. No, it don't work that way. And what's really changed things is all the money in the game, because now you've got it's had a leveling effect, not definitely across the ball, but it's had a leveling effect. Teams like Bournemouth, who've got a stadium that holds 15,000, can compete in the way that they've got a bit more money now, with all the money in the game, to actually improve their squads in a way that they wouldn't have been able to do decades ago. So they can improve the level of their team and give teams better games, So they can do that. And they're not the only team. And also, because these teams aren't so strapped for money, you just can't go there and say, like, I'm going to nick your player because he's good. We're Man United. It doesn't work that way no more. You look at the money like Brighton have made from transfers, right? Selling players to other, and they've sold them for small fortunes, haven't they? And they've used the data analysis, which is the road we've gone down right now. We've gone down that. So, like, that don't work no more. So, with fan bases, Jose, I mean, like, I think they're all the same. You've always got that section that would moan if you won anything, I think, like, and they'll still complain, right? But like, it's. I mean, I don't think that they're nowhere near a majority. They're not a majority. They're very good, and I find with sections of the fan base like that, and it's probably the same for West Ham and other fans. Like these fans, they're very critical, right? They're very good at lancing boils, but they're absolutely useless at offering solutions, right? If this is wrong, how would you change things? What would you do? And then they're sort of dumbfounded, a lot of them,
Right, you've got who you got? You got David Shear says 3 a.m. Jose will shoot me if I show up after missing the prediction show. I will not shoot you down at all. You're more than welcome to. If you're going to be up at 3 a.m. in the morning, then you're up at 3 a.m. in the morning, mate. No, there's no issues and no worries whatsoever. You know the score. Nita says it was only Arsenal, so heard it all before. Tottenham till I die. It's called gum time. The arse lost. Have it. Don't cry. Boo. David Shear says, and people who pretend to be extroverts. Peter is spot. He says you're spot on, Adrian, in what you're saying. Bloody peanut brigade is what David Shear says, and Lawrence is saying our pass distribution from the back is awful. Areola is terrible at the moment. Can I just say one thing, right? We've been very respectful with Tony, right, as a whole fan base, because we like Tony and we know Tony, so we've been very respectful. You, Lawrence, however, had you won the game today, Lawrence, I would never have heard the end of it from you, Lawrence. Lawrence would have given it so thick it would be beyond belief. Do you know what I mean? Lawrence would have given it to us big time. And Lawrence, do you see what class is like? We act like classy people. Just letting you know, Lawrence. So, you know, we've won, but we're not turning around and, you know, rubbing it in and, you know, doing it. So, and he's look it straight away. Lawrence knows I was right. Look at that. True.
I don't get though, Tony. I don't get. Maybe it's because every club has to have a rival or something to bite on, and Spurs are the most unpopular club in London. Arsenal haters, Chelsea haters, West Ham haters, QPR haters. We beat them in a cup final. You know, Fulham don't like us. I mean, we are the dog that everyone likes to kick, which is fair enough. I mean, like when we don't get too fussed about it because we're used to it. We're used to like a lot worse back in the day when we talk about the racist stuff and everything else. Like, so we're pretty immune. That's why we adopted the Yid chant and the Yid army as a form of reverse psychology to fight that off. You know, like it's the same as when we try to fire it back at Arsenal, calling them gooners. They've adopted gooners as reverse psychology now. You know, so like it's now we have a battle cry. You know, but
Right. So I've got to say hello. Mikey from New
Hello,
York.
all. How are you? How are you?
How are you, Mikey?
You see the man behind the
Behind the
screen.
name. This is the man behind the name. Mikey. Mikey.
Great
How are
win
you,
today.
mate?
We did well.
Yeah.
You know, we have our woes. We got to get through them. Defensively, we can't lose assignments. We look well. We look well. We build up well. Come on, the defense. It's Destiny Udogie losing his assignments, running too high up the pitch. I'm a defensive back myself, so I understand the process. And if you're not gonna get back, you know, just stay middle to back. You know, he lost a few guys moving up, leaving Basuma out back. It was getting confusing. It was getting nervy. Overall, I think West Ham did a very good job. Mohamed Kudus was literally your workhorse. It was your engine. He did anything and everything he wanted to our team, and it was nervy at a good point where, you know, I felt he could touch the ball at the top of the box and it would just hit the back of the net. And then I have a question for, you know, us Spurs fans. What are we going to do with everyone just hounding Vicario? It's the same thing every match. We never seem to do it to any goalkeepers, but it's always done. We've seemed to get a little better with man marking, putting men on, you know, the people standing in front of him, but it's still, he looks shaky. He gets nervous around, you know, other attacking players, and he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing.
I thought today, from what I could see, now you was at the stadium, Adrian, you went to the game, but when the cameras panned in on one of the corners, I don't know whether you remember it, Tony, but there was a corner and it was Antonio was smashing him. He was backing into him and smashing him. And then all Vicario did is Vicario stepped away from him, stepped back 3 paces, and then came out and stood away from him, and then problem solved. Because in older money, as I call it, in last season when he was being found out, players were bumping into him, and he would stand there and take the buffeting. He weren't moving out of the way or pushing the player and stuff like that. But today he stepped away from it, came around. So Antonio was being marked by a defender. There was another West Ham player being marked by another defender. Vicario stepped away from it, came around to the side of them. And then like that, job's done. So I feel, personally, he's learning. But then I felt that Vicario's been learning all season. And if you saw I don't know if you saw the interview, Mikey, that he did in the summer, where he owned up to saying, you know, I've been poor in these areas and I'm going to now work on improving on these to make me a better goalkeeper and a better person. I believe from what I've seen, and the job lot is 10 games because he's played 10 out of the 11 games this season. In the 10 games that I've seen him play, I've seen improvements compared to where we were with him last season. So that's my answer to that. I mean, I don't know, Adrian, what you think, but that's my answer to what Mikey's saying.
When he came in his first game against Brentford away, when we drew 2-2, when Romero had to go off, he looked a bit shaky and nervy. But he even had the ball then. He was throwing it from the penalty area to the halfway line. I thought, this is Jennings-esque stuff I'm seeing here, right? And he looked a bit shaky, but he settled into the game. And last season, it was superb, right? He was my man of the season. Everyone was going for VDV Romero. I know you like Kulu, Jose, but because they're more sexy, you know, VDV's sexy because he runs, but to me, VDV isn't half the player Romero is, in my opinion. I mean, Romero's won 2 Copa Americas and a World Cup, right? It says it all. He is class. He's one of the best defenders on the planet, right? So, but Vicario saved us so many points last year. And it's not like when people say, oh, that goalkeeper's good, he's a good shot stopper. That should be like the basic, prerequisite of any goalkeeper being a shot stopper. But he's so agile and so quick. Look at the early shot save he made in the game against West Ham when he pushed it to the side. He's got the agility of Benetti, when he was known as a cat at Chelsea going back in the 70s, right? And he is so good. He is so good at those sort of saves with his feet, with his body and whatever. All right, in the penalty area. But you see it in every Premier League game. Players always crowd the goalkeeper. Because the idea is if you can take the goalkeeper out of the game, you've got more chance of scoring from a set piece. Every team does it against every other goalkeeper when they get a corner against them. They all do it. And when I say to people, well, okay, you're knocking him, sell him, get rid of him. Yeah, who are you going to replace him with that's better? Who's out there that's actually better? You can take the Man City goalkeeper, the Liverpool goalkeeper. I've always liked the Man City goalkeeper. I've really liked him. The Liverpool goalkeeper's good. Arsenal goalkeeper Rao, we know he's good. Always played well against us, didn't he, when he was with Brentford? And
I think he has a point to prove.
Blind in games against us, So he looks good. And some people say now, we should have got Rao instead of. I'm happy with Vicario. I'm happy with him.
You got Lawrence saying, sorry, just to change. So he's saying Antonio was weak today. Tony and I know he is hot and cold too often, never consistent. And with that being said, right, with that comment being said, what I've got to show you then is, let me share the screen. Right, here we go.
Oh, what a view.
Movement. Hey.
There you go.
That works because it's cooler, right?
That was a good track back, good defensive play. I mean, honestly, I don't think the first goal was on Pedro Porro. I think at that moment, I think a winger as Johnson should be alert to the defense. As a winger, that's kind of your position. You help drag back a little bit. But was that not the same shot that Vicario stopped from Kudus a few moments earlier, or a few minutes earlier, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, that was a save. But what had happened in this one is that what he'd done is, what's his name? The boy, Antonio. Antonio had smashed into Van der Ven, and then they continued running. So at the beginning of the play, he smashed into him, and they continued running. And he's then beaten Antonio, because Antonio's no slouch. Antonio's quick.
Oh, yes, he moves.
He's beating Antonio to the ball, and then he on purpose just went bosh and smashed into him.
The crowd went crazy.
To let him know that he was there as well. So it's only because Lawrence reminded me with his comment. So I thought I better show that to people.
You get into the position like what phase in the game do you actually blame the player for? Because to me, Udogie was at fault with the first goal. I looked at it. Some would say Porro on the back. You had Johnson on his knees, right?
It was Udogie who lost his man. Got beat on the other flank.
And he also, for some reason, and I'm going to come to a doggy in a minute, because
he's been poor this season, Udogie. Apart from Man United away.
Peter has just gifted out another 5 memberships. Peter, that's really kind of you, mate. And they've gone to Danny Talk Sport, The Big Red Machine, Hanno, Kobe Povey, and Brandon Doan have been received them. So if they come in, then Peter is the person that they need to thank. Sorry, we were talking right. A doggy, right? A doggy, for all intents and purposes, when we bought him from the Italian side, a doggy was a wing back, not a fullback, a wing back, and he did a lot more attacking for the Italian side than what he did defending. And I think with Tottenham, they're trying to work on his defensive side, and they did last season, and they're still working on it now. But I've got to say, I know he's a young kid learning the game, so you can't beat him up for this. But the amount of times he's not goal side with players, he's on the wrong side of a player, and today it happened again. Did you see how that was? Listen, you guys have all played football in primary school. You're taught about being goal side, and you should never be on the other side of the player.
Be between the man and the ball.
And
the goal.
He wasn't goal side. And you know, at the end of the day, the guy for West Ham, who was it that got inside him? Whoever it was, he might as well just. It was Bowen, wasn't it? It was Bowen.
Bowen.
He was Bowen, yeah, because Bowen was the one who turned him, and then of course laid the ball across.
Yeah.
And I think he even nagged
the
him.
Bowen aspect there is the fact of he's gone virtually through the 18-yard box and straight to kudos, because no one. I mean, Lawrence has put it in there, marking players in the box from across. I mean, our crossing today, not just from corners, but from even from set play, was poor. It didn't even hit a target, man. It hit your players every single time. But
yeah,
Bowen's shown to be a better player than I thought he was decent when he was at Hull. He was very left-footed and left-sided at Hull, and he was always got like when he was coming in. He was because I watched him because we were interested in him, so I went and watched a few videos. And he would come in for the left, and he'd very and like get goals. Very, I don't know who was playing centre forward for them at the time at Hull, or whatever, but he didn't want to come in like he did come in central a couple of times, like
yeah.
But today you see him on the right, and like he's attacking us on the right when that goal come and all that. So. He has upped his game. He's upped his game since he's been to West Ham, and he does look a quality footballer. So does Kudos, but it's like everything. It's getting the blends right throughout your whole team, isn't it? Get it right.
The thing for me, Adrian, I said it earlier on the show. I think giving him the captaincy and that has taken a little bit of the edge off him. He doesn't, for me, he doesn't look the same player at the moment. Have that captaincy and that is weighing him down a little bit. He's not as creative as you normally know Bowen to be.
I'm not big on captains nowadays or plan Bs. You do plan A better. I'm not big on captains. There's not really that much I don't think there's much they can do. I'm with Roy Keane the other day because I've argued on my podcast and all that and said I'm with Roy Keane. Every player on that pitch should be his own captain. You shouldn't need motivating to be on that pitch. If you need to motivate yourself, you shouldn't be out there. I know it might sound harsh. Now, it doesn't mean, and we know some players will be a bit more quiet about him and others might shout and all that. At Spurs, our dealers would turn around to Stevie Perriman and say, Stevie, why are you always shouting? Why are you always shouting? You know what I mean? But it was different back then. You could stick a tackle in back then and you could do something. And that was even when Perriman wasn't having one of his best games. He still had the confidence to sort of shout things around. Back in the days of Blanchflower and that, they would orchestrate the team. They'd even virtually direct players. You don't get that now because all these tactics are sorted out and the game plan's done before you even walk on the pitch. So it's all different. I believe a lot of fans now, when you lose a game, like you lost a game today, right? You'll go on a podcast and West Ham's problem is we haven't got enough leaders in the team. It's desperation. Or it'll be, we've got no plan B. You hear it all the time. This is like desperate search for a solution. No, basically at Brighton last week, we played shit. That's what happened. That's why we lost. We played shit. Keep it simple, right? We were crap in the second half. There was no excuse for it. It was abysmal, and we only played crap twice, but that was one half. Against Coventry, we played crap, but we won the game, right? And I'll take any win, even if it's ugly. You know what I mean? I don't care because there'll be games you should win that you lose. So, I'm taking the wins. But no, this is desperation, captains and all that. It's PR nowadays. It's mainly PR. What can you do? Didn't work for us last week. We had like Romero as a vice captain on the field. Maddison was on the field as a vice captain. They didn't affect anything. We just crumbled because players. I'll put it down to football IQ and tactical awareness. With Spurs, like last week, if you're struggling and like in a game, don't stop. Solanke and Werner, they can track back. They work hard. You come back. You leave like Johnson as the out ball. I mean, in that game last week, Mikey and Onzo, would Harry Kane have stayed upfield if he'd seen a problem? No. He would drop into midfield or drop in the back four like he did for corners and things like this. Where's the footballer's IQ and tactical awareness? Where is it? It's because football's very robotic. It's very horseshoeish, right? When you watch it being played, you know, it's side to side, side to side, side to one wing, back across the centre of the midfield, bang out to the other wing, back out, trying to get the defenders to move out of place, create a gap to get a chance. You know, it's very robotic, you know.
Right, just catching up with the chat. So you've got Lawrence said, Jose, I thought you were going to be respectful. I am always respectful, Mr. Lawrence from Lexington,
Lawrence,
Kentucky.
right.
So you know this, Mr. from Lexington, Kentucky, Mr. Watkins. You know I'm always respectful. Destiny says, Peter is a legend, always donating and saving lives at the same time. Yes, he has a hard job to do. And it's not nice what he said here. He said that he got spat on last night and he was called a dog. Sorry, a effing
Terrible.
dog. But then he says, if we took it to heart, then you wouldn't. The poor kid was high on ice.
Right.
Lawrence says, your weakness is marking players from in a box from across to us.
Yep.
Nick's here saying good evening all to all of us in his American slang. Evening, y'all. Good evening, Nick. The community, the link for members is in the community page, on the community page, which only members can see if you want to come on. David Clark's here says, great win, but the doggy continues to be a liability. His defending is woeful. He's a strong looking lad, but just fails to use his physicality in a positive manner. He had 2 chances to win those tackles. Lawrence is then saying, spot on, Tony, what we need is leadership. Did you see at the beginning of the game, Spurs circle as a team? Son was talking to the team. They were all listening and motivated. Roundtable talk, Nick saying, just got home from the last game of the day, got frigging sunburn. Well, we wouldn't get sunburn in this country now, would we, lads? Because
frostbite. We get frostbite.
We get frostbite at the moment. We will be getting sunburn at the moment here. Adrian, do not underestimate the leadership on the pitch. All these guys are top performers. Peter is saying, Nita, I love my job. Some people that we attend to are high on drugs, but this ice is the worst. And people are saying hello to each other. So Mikey, the man, the myth, the legend, which is Mikey Romero. It's so good to see you on screen because you said
Pleasure. I'm happy to get on.
So it's good to see you. And obviously I did this show at 10 o'clock in the evening to try and get the North Americans to come on because the timing's better, and also to see whether we get some of the Australians on, which we've managed to do because I've got Peter here and David here as well. And then I've got North Americans, and I've obviously got European people here as well. So the time tonight has worked really well in getting a plethora of different people to come and watch the show. How long have you been a Tottenham fan for? Because I don't know much about you, Mikey. You just joined the chat and you lit it up, and I just don't know much about you.
I've been a Spurs fan for quite a while. I would say maybe about the last 10 to 15 years. Okay. I really started seeing them, with Clint and all those teams, progressing on. I actually grew up a big Real Madrid fan. A lot of my family are Madrid fans. I tend to catch games here and there of theirs, but Spurs, I don't know, it's just something about them. It's like a boyhood club. You grow and you watch them and you want to see them progress. You want to see them do well always. So for me, I've always, kept an eye on them. Living so close to New York City, I live maybe about 10 minutes away. I've had big clubs come and, they've taken up, spaces, pitches, fields. And they're, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like, they're very, community based, I would say. I met a batch of Arsenal players about 7 years ago, and they were so rude. So couldn't be bothered. They were on like a tour throughout the city. I happened to notice because their stupid logo. I mean, no offense to them, but I just don't like their logo.
The floppy one, the floppy logo.
Yeah, the
floppy one.
The flash, yeah. So I noticed some of them, and I was like, wow, welcome guys, and they couldn't seem to be bothered. It doesn't seem like they were really oh, we're in your country, hello. If I would have noticed them, not many other people would have noticed them, because not a lot of people in America watch soccer or football. I'm up at 6:30, 7 in the morning to watch games sometimes. So I understand, you know, like the process of it. You know, I've been to the fan fests over here in the last one that I went to was in Philadelphia from the Premier League, and it's amazing. People are up early. It's a big community based, and it's good to see it over here. The MLS isn't anything like it. It's still growing, but it doesn't seem to feel like it's growing. You know, players are coming from overseas, which is always great, but it doesn't seem to be. I think they need better marketing, and bring more fans into it. It doesn't seem like they advertise well enough out here. I don't know. It's just very strange. I think
in 94 when you had the World Cup out there, in 94 I saw the game grow, because I knew the game before 94. There wasn't no MLS before 94. Some of the older chaps like me on this panel will remember the New York Cosmos, the Seattle Sounders, and all these Tampa Bay Rowdies. Yeah, do you remember all these teams, boys?
Yeah.
From the
That's
olden
30
days?
years ago,
The
Jose.
Metro Stars.
Even longer. I'm going back to the 70s when and that's before the MLS. The MLS was born after the 94 World Cup.
Yeah.
They started putting more money into American football after the 94 World Cup. So, you know, and I saw a growth. Now, you've got another World Cup coming up in the States in a couple of years' time. So, for me, you've already got the MLS. You're starting to get players from abroad. You're getting a lot more. So, it's not the roster, as you call it out there, squads or roster, whichever one is full of, or you now have, I don't know what the quota and the limit is, but you seem to have international players within your squad rotors now. And I just think that with the World Cup coming up, if it's not before, but within 2 years after that World Cup, I think you're going to get that growth spurt again. But it will be like a legacy for a fair few more years. The same as the 94 one was a legacy for a fair few years. I think by having the World Cup in 2 years' time, it will give you another legacy, like another push further, if that makes any sense. Would you agree with that, Mikey?
I don't think I'm ready for it. I mean, I'm ready for it, but I'm not ready for it. The amount of traffic going to be around here. I live, again, I'm very in an area. I'm 15 minutes from the city. I'm, you know, an hour from Pennsylvania.
Are you in New Jersey?
I'm in New Jersey. Yes, I'm 20 minutes from MetLife, which will be the final stadium.
Yeah, that's
So I've been to MLS games. The crowds aren't anything to brag about or boast about. The crowds seem into it because they're there at the games, but you don't really see many jerseys. You tend to see more European jerseys. You see your Barcelona jerseys, your big clubs from other countries, but you never see any. If it's a Red Bull game, you probably see maybe 40% Red Bull jerseys, and that's probably their fanatics, like their diehards, they're people who have their season tickets and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. I personally follow a team that's not even from the area. I follow the Portland Timber. I stumbled upon their few games and I started watching them, and for me, they've done really well. But I hope there's a big progression in MLS come this World Cup. There's more than capable of talent out here. It's just I think personally the setup to transition from youth to professional is the gap. I think that's the gap they have to bridge. And I can sit here and talk about it day and night, but it doesn't mean they're gonna they'll listen much or even listen to what we have. It really should be how these kids go to school while they're training, and then see out the rest of their day through that. But I don't think they would ever change that here. I don't see that happening. They try to make as much money off these little football clubs as they possibly could. Like I was telling Jose not too long ago, I pay about $300 for my season. I still play currently, and for jerseys, referee fees, pitch fees, it still adds up. And I'm not playing in a super professional league. We have maybe 2 refs a pitch, so it's but you still have to pay to play. So hopefully this World Cup shows that football is a big sport. Here it can be even bigger.
Yeah, so there was this conversation we had the other day, Tony, on the channel. I think Nick was talking about it, and a few others their children go and play football, and they have to buy their own kits and all that. So like over here, it used to be just subs. You paid subs, and the subs would cover pitches, referees, and it would cover money for the club for I don't know, your oranges, your medical box, and anything like that. They actually pay for absolutely everything in America to play football. So you pay a fee for playing, you pay a fee for the pitch, you pay a fee for the ref, you pay a fee for the medical box, you pay a fee for your kits. It's all different and all spread around. And I think that you're saying 300, Mikey, but Nick was saying the other day that he spends
yes, and
he spends
especially
about 1,500 quid.
Yeah, if your kids progress well, or if they're on a bigger club, of course the cost will be much more. Yeah. So it's very sometimes it's off-putting for a family. Say you have 3-4 kids and you want to all put them in, and it's like you never want to choose. Hey, this one's the best one out of the bunch. We'll take him.
Are you in Trenton? Are you in Trenton, Mikey?
I'm about an hour from Trenton. Yes, Trenton's our capital, so I'm north. Yeah. I'm maybe.
I'll tell you where I live.
2 miles from New York City.
I lived in Boundsbrook.
Okay, I'm very familiar with Boundsbrook.
That's where I lived, Boundsbrook. Have they still got is it the Red Lion pub down there?
Yes, they do.
It is? Okay, yeah. So yeah.
You can tell Jose was a pisshead back in the day.
Listen, I'll tell you a story. When I went to America, I was a big drinker back in the day when I was young, right? Big drinker. And I went out there to do Camp America, right?
Yeah.
And in the evenings, we used to go down to that Red Lion and other pubs that we used to frequent as well. And we were underage because you got to be 21 to drink.
Yeah.
So I've never had a drive. I don't drive. I've never driven in my life. But what I did is, the olden days, we used to have the green driving license in this country.
Yeah.
And what I did is I got a photograph and attached it to my driving license, and then laminated it, and I took that to America, because in America they read the month, then the day, then the year. So they do it differently to what we do. So you had to alter it all to make it look like you were old enough to drink. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I was out there drinking, and some of the boys that I was out there knew that I could handle it and I could drink. So they used to bet against the Americans in the bars, right? So they buy your drinks for you, and they used to bet outside on the ring about who would end up falling on the floor first. I spent 3 months absolutely luzzed out of my head, didn't spend 1 penny, and drank as much as I wanted. And got given money from the bets that we won as well. That was many, many years ago. But yeah, Boundsbrook is where I spent my time.
Mikey, please tell me you haven't got half and half scarves in America. Do you know what they are?
Oh, yes.
You know what they are?
Yes, they do. They very well do.
Half and half scarves should be hung by it, personally.
The last one I saw was maybe an Atlanta United, and I want to say maybe like a Columbus Crew or like stuff like that. It's insane. Why? I want to rep one club. I'm going to the game for one team. The other team, yes, they're coming along. Yeah, if they have scarves as well, keep their scarves. Just one scarf, not two, not split. I don't. Yeah, we.
I don't get it.
We see.
I think it's a way of dumbing down the population and pacifying them.
It's also split jerseys. Have you seen
that? I really do. I mean, I'll see them at the North London Derby. You can't have a half Spurs and Arsenal scarf.
No.
You know,
you can if you're an Arsenal fan, because they ain't got no sense. Anyway, let me move on. David Clark saying, there's no bigger fan of Maddison than me, as I live in Leicester and have watched him for 6 years, but he lacks close quarter change. He lacks close quarter change of pace to get away from his marker. I think Spurs will sell him. Then you've got someone's coming. Who came in? It was Ryan. Ryan has said, good evening, guys. So,
evening, Ryan.
Evening, Ryan.
David Clark saying, hoping for at least a double this weekend. Hope my Washington Commanders. Hoping for at least a double. We've had the double today already, David. What are you talking about? You're hoping for a double.
No, we want the treble. We want a player. We want a Chelsea player.
I know, but look,
let's leave the sent off and kudos. We want the treble tomorrow.
No, but he's saying hoping for at least a double. But he's saying I'm hoping for at least a double this weekend. But we've had the double today. Hope my Washington Commanders win, but can't see a treble because I can't see Spurs ladies beating Chelsea.
Good point,
David Clark's saying, my first live game supporting Spurs was against West Ham when I was 6 years old in 1960, and we won 2-0.
That's awesome.
He's got the history books out now.
Yeah.
Second said World Cup '94, Ray Houghton's shin volley against Italy, 1-0 win was what a night that
I
was.
remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Nita's telling Peter, community work is my job. Skill for 35 years now. Hard work always taught me plenty in my life. Never give up, but know when to. Love my community 100%.
Oh, well
Big
said.
up, Nito.
Lawrence says, Mikey, good stuff. We talk about West Ham team. Join the Hammers.
Can't do it. Cannot.
Daniel Coyes is saying Portland Timbers are quality. Every time they score, they bring the lumberjacker
Oh,
out.
it's amazing. It's amazing. A big slab of wood. Who wouldn't want that as a goal scoring goal?
And
I
this is
wouldn't. I wouldn't
is
want it.
This is a question for you. This is a question
where
for
do you
you,
put it?
Mikey. A question for you, then, Mikey.
Okay.
Says, question: why the F do they call everything World Series in America?
It beats me. I have no clue. Baseball is another sport that
It's
there's
rounders.
a World Classic and then there's the World Series.
It's rounders.
What does that mean?
Like
What does that
basketball's
mean?
netball. It's a girls' game. You know what I mean?
So what you saying? American football's rugby?
Yeah, so
Lawrence is
I'm not
saying-
sure.
Lawrence is saying that he's from Baltimore, but he's now in Kentucky, in Lexington, Kentucky. Mad, because that's what he always says. Lexington, Kentucky. He always tells us. Nita says, "Did you only drink in London, Jose?" No. If I'm saying that I was drinking in New Jersey and I drank in New York, I've drank in bloody Philly, I've drank in Chicago, I've drank in Washington. I've drank all the East Coast. I've done the whole East Coast. 6 months I spent in America doing the whole East Coast. So, but that was way back in '89. I went and saw Guns N' Roses in New York in '89. Appetite for Destruction tour.
What a concert.
So I had a fantastic time in the States. Don't think they'll let me back in, but I've been a lot.
Truth be known, Mikey,
I've learned since then.
Jose likes animals. He drinks with them, right?
Tekken says, no, but I don't do all that stuff anymore, but I used to when I was a kid. When I stayed in New York, I stayed at the Maspeth and drank in Queens.
Wonderful.
And then you've got Nita says, go to India and drink crazy like never. David Clark says, my missus gave me half and half Spurs and Leicester City scarf last month for my 70th birthday. You can't knock him for that, Adrian.
Yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift.
No, I've got to be two-faced because I like Dave.
Yeah.
So we ain't hanging you, Dave. We're just going to whip you instead, right?
We'll turn the blind eye.
Second says, I used to drink in a pub called Maggie May's, Queens Boulevard. Bobby K says, good evening, panel and everyone in the chat. Not a bad second half today at all, Coyce. Bobby K, you were one of the people that commented saying that I didn't do member shows at the times that you could get on. The link's in the community page. I've done it at a time when I can get the North Americans on. So if you're about and you want to come on, you're more than welcome to do so, sir.
Come on, Bobby, get your sorry ass on a show.
And then you've got, it's called the Honeybees. The killer when you're on, it's called the Honeybees. It's a killer when you're on holidays. Lawrence says, I am a Navy sailor. I drank all over the whole of the world. And Peter's saying, yeah, you must have drank them dry. And then going back to Peter, Peter's gifted another 5 memberships.
Another Peter,
And I
you're the
didn't
man.
see-
He's mental.
I haven't
Well
seen.
done, Peter.
I'm trying to find if I can see where they've gone. Right, okay. So this has gone to Jishnu, Jay Ashraf, Marcus, John Michael, and Villa 1982, James SUFTV. So a Villa fan has got some as well. So thank you very much, Peter. As it say, Ryan saying to me, lucky you, Jose. Us Northerners drank Frosty Jacks under a local underpass.
What's the Frosty Jack?
That's I remember the cider, the old, the cheap cider 2-litre bottles or whatever they were.
No,
That all the skeggheads used to go and pick and drink and all that. So
Yeah,
it
we
was
always
around.
have one White Lightning and things like that.
Yeah, it was around the time when people were drinking super tenants and super brews or whatever they were called, or the mad drinks that were like 9% alcohol, like drinking treacle, basically. But yeah, I don't know what happened to Mikey. We've lost Mikey. It was good speaking to Mikey because it's nice when you get people that always talk, are always in your chat, and you never see them on screen. And he kept saying he wanted to come on, so I'm really happy that he's come on because we've actually.
Lawrence was trying to appease you with a super chat.
Has he? Oh yeah, look. super chat from Lawrence saying, "Come on, you irons," and with a thumbs up and the hammer stats sign.
You could have bought a half and half scarf for that. West Ham Spurs.
Lawrence, that wasn't me, by the way. Peter says we've got to build this fantastic show, and Peter, you do help out. You do help out. David Clark says my nephew went to Southampton game today, and at half-time when Leicester City were 2-0 down, put £5 on Leicester to win. He won 145 quid.
Is that all? We should have won more, David, for that. 2-0 down at half time.
We'll be back at the answer the call. Phil Coys, big up to your great Phil. If you want to come on, Phil, anyone who's a member, I've put the link in the community page. You're more than welcome to come on. This show is for you guys. I've even gone and missed match of the day because I wanted to speak to people and see what people had to say. And we've got
He's taping it.
We've got the lovely Tony here. Tony, who has been an absolute gentleman, and as obviously as a member, but it's come on, but also went on two sides of a pitch podcast earlier. Straight, and he went on this straight after the defeat today, where this show's just come out 8 hours later or whatever. But I'm talking Tony went on straight away, and that's where I saw Tony earlier. So big up to Tony, and everybody get over to Tony's show. He's on tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Let's get on to him and support him. And yeah, because he's on the road to 500. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, how many short of now, Tone?
I'm now on 463 at the moment.
So 37. We need another 37 subs to help Tony get to his 500. And if we can help from here, I know that people have already helped from here. I know that people have helped him from here already, but let's see if we can help him even more and get him there. Do you want to put your link into the private chat, and then I'll whack it on there as well to see if we can get people over to you, please, mate? Because we want to get you to your 500. It's deserving. You should be on the minimum of 500 anyway, mate. It does a really good show midweek, and then he also does a really good show on a Sunday where he has all rival fans. I've only got one critique about the show, and it wasn't you that was on it, but Fuzz hosted it, and on a Sunday I got to work on a Monday, and it started 8 o'clock in the evening, and past midnight I said to them, I've got to come off. I've got to go work. So 4.5 hours later, so it goes on forever and a day, that show. I'm sure that you keep order when you do it though, Tone.
I try my best. Do try my best.
There we go. Let me just put it up there. We go. Sub to Tony at this channel. Let me get it in there. Right, let me see if this works. Should do. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. There you go. People sub over to Tony there. Show him some love there at Early Doors Football. Give him a sub. And look, Ryan's gone and done it for us because Ryan's a mod. I should have just asked the mods to do it, shouldn't I? God. Sometimes you shouldn't have to ask the mods. They should just know their role. Look. My bad, Jose. I went to get the link. Load up iPlayer, LTEL, and pause it, he's saying to me. Yeah, Lawrence, Tony has got a great channel, and we've added his link because he has got a great channel. David Clark says, I've heard that Spurs are looking at Espanyol winger Javi Boado. Have you heard anything? No, I haven't. Unless Adrian has, but we're being linked with so many.
I've seen all the links to this guy, right? Who's having it's always like these one season hit wonders. Remember Gift Auburn? We was all interested in him, weren't we? And all that. And like, what's he doing there? Yeah, he's having a good season, but I'm not going to go and look at him. One, I hate the transfer window. I do get heavily involved in it when it's actually, in progress. But like now, I mean, we're in October, for Christ's sake. The window's not till January. I'm not getting involved in. I won't post any transfer rumors in my group, my Facebook group, simply because like I'm not having it this time of year. Most of them are clickbait as well, so I'm not having it.
So yeah, I think there's a couple of people that said they've subbed over to you, Tony. So I don't know whether your numbers are going up, but there's a couple of people who said they have. But please, if you haven't already, please sub to Tony. Help him out. Yeah, you got Mikey said that he subbed. Peter Kagaya said that he subbed as well. So, and look who's here. We've got Big John. Big John from Leeds. Come on, you Leeds. Marching on together yesterday. Big John, I got the correct prediction yesterday. Only 2 of us did. Me and Johnny Bethnal Green predicted a 2-0 for Leeds yesterday. So we have got the 3. We got the green. We got the 3 points in the bag for that game. So well happy for
finishing
you,
the
mate.
top 10 this year, that'll do me, because I think I've done pretty disastrous this weekend. But it's only one weekend, you know.
Can I say that you've definitely gone up the league so far in
There
this
must be
week's
some
point?
poor scores then.
You've definitely gone up in the league. You are currently top.
That's not possible.
It is. You're currently top of the league at the moment. If we paused and stopped it now, you're top.
Huh.
The 2 people in front of you've done better than the 2 people in front of you so far. But we've got 3 more games to go.
I can't remember my. I don't write them down or nothing. I just think I remember the cup one. I know I had Leeds to win, but you had the 2-0. I just had it like, and I know I had the Man United 2-1. I know I had that.
I can tell you what you had. You had the first game you put 4-0 for Tottenham, so you got a point for that. You got the correct score, Man United 2-1.
Yeah.
And you had Leeds at 2-1.
So that's 5 points.
Yes, but you scored more than the 2 in front of you.
Oh.
So I think you might have gone ahead by 1 point at the moment with 3 games still to go. And I haven't done the Arsenal game, have I? What was the Arsenal score? 2-0.
2-0.
Shit, I haven't done that.
Bournemouth. No, not many people have that. There'd be loads of them.
Right, let me see.
Everyone would have backed Arsenal to win.
No, they didn't. I'll tell you now. I'm just looking at it because I've forgotten. I'm just looking at it now. I think to myself, hold on. There wasn't. People did back Bournemouth.
Really?
Right. Potato Stew, 1-0 to Bournemouth, so he gets a point. Paulio 125, a 2-1 to Bournemouth. Gets a point.
Really?
Inner Hype, 2-1 to Bournemouth, gets a point. Round Table Talk Nick, who did 2-1 for every score, gets a point.
I don't know why that is. When you do these predictions, Time, what happens is
Sodgy
if you
got
hate
it.
your rival, you're always going to back the other team to beat them.
Yes, right. Yeah.
So and that can. I mean, that's not going to get you a lot of points during the season, right? But because Arsenal aren't going to lose many games, but so that's what they do.
So
it's like when fans have their bets. You always find that I've looked when I said, "Oh, you're having a bet for the weekend. What are you doing?" "Oh, I've got Spurs to win 3-1 or it's 2-0. It's always a 2-goal margin because they're nervous. You know? It's never like 2-1 or 1-0. You know, it's always like 3-1, you know, 2-0 or like it's 4-1 or like to settle their nerves. Like, and I just think football don't work that way.
No.
You've got so you got the other people that got it were Soji Fagard had it as well. Kate from the Perfect Match got it, and so did Nick Collison. They all got a point. Every single one of them went for a victory for the for Bournemouth. But there we are. You've got Mikey saying, Pete says Destiny I had 4-0, and that's brave. That's a brave score. But we scored 4, but we conceded that 1. John said he had 3-1 to Spurs. Mikey Romero says, "Are we back? Just had a work called Love Our Community." And there's people saying, like, Bobby, I saw you on your show the other night, Tony. You were doing the predictions as well.
Yes.
Right. And you were doing it live on a screen or something.
Yeah.
How many people did you have in yours? Because you had help. You had Fuzz reading out the scores to you, and then you were just pumping them in. How many people you got in your predictions?
I think it's 19 or 19 people.
19. Okay. So I'm doing it, and I did it on my own on Friday, and I got 91 people. And I did it all on my own on Friday. And on Friday, out of the 91, 60 of them played. So 60 results, sets of results I had to do. And we included 2 bonus games. So 2 games outside of the Premiership just added to it at random. And yeah, so people have done it.
And Bruges beat Westerlo 2-1, so I blew out on that one. It was 1 Westerlo, 2 to Bruges. They lost 2-1.
But David Clark, you're saying that, but you had 2-2. Club Bruges won 2-1, but Dave Clark had 2-2. Yeah, Destiny, if you pick the people that got that right would have had the 2-1. There was quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people got that right.
I can see the love between you and Lawrence, Jose. I can see the love.
It's not actually me. It's Lawrence keeps. When I first met Lawrence, he came for me, and he hasn't stopped. He hasn't stopped since. Good old Lawrence comes for Jose. He likes to have a nibble and a bite. He's very hungry, that man. Very hungry. I don't think he gets fed enough at home. He just eats, has to keep biting at me all the time, don't you, Lawrence? Peter Kagayas is saying Arteta got schooled. Ryan says he got the bruise, and Lawrence says Jose loves to brag, and then he says, "I got you, Tony."
I'm keeping my eye on this predictions league in case I have to call VAR in. You know what I mean? On some of these results, there's like I smell a bit of skullduggery in the background. You know what I mean?
Do you?
Well, you've crept up the league, Jose. That's suspicious.
You're joking. You're joking, and yeah, I'm down there. Fucking hell, I'm in 8. Am I 18th or something? I'm 17th, mate.
You've got to get in the top 10.
Well, at the moment, my scores this week, if we hadn't, right, my scores this week so far would put me up into 7th. But that's providing that nobody in front of me picks up any points, which is unlikely. Everyone's picked up points, so you know I'm creeping, but nah. But I'm 16. How many am I? No, 14. I'm 14 points off the lead, so it's not.
Jose,
it's quite...
you're in our one as well, aren't you? That we do, and
no,
you're
no.
Oh, I've got Tel Cockerel on here.
Am I in your one?
Yeah, you're 19th in that, 389 points.
19th in your predictions league.
That's between me, my channel, and Football Dad's Army.
Are you talking about predictions? Or are you talking about FPL?
FPL. Sorry, the FPL.
Oh, okay, yeah. FPL. I was going to say because I was going to say I don't think I've done the predictions because what I've noticed, right, is I started these predictions last season, and I've noticed a few channels now do the predictions. So
I was going to say you are the inspiration.
I was going to say I might have cottoned on.
My channel will not be doing it. I haven't got the patience to do that. Honestly,
people like playing though.
Yeah.
People like playing the predictions, and it brings people together. You know, people have a laugh with each other and that. Do you find that on yours as well, Tony?
Yeah.
The predictions bring people together. It's really good. It does bring people together. David Clark says yes because what's he say? Yes, because Westerlo had scored 20 goals in 9 games. Trust them to go to sleep when I picked them to get goals. Yeah,
David. I fell foul. I predicted them to win 2-1.
I predicted Westerlo to win 2-1 as well, only because
they lost 2-1.
The links with Tottenham. Ryan says, "Have I moved up so far this week?" Ryan, I don't know whether you have or not, Ryan. I just know that the top 3 have just jumbled and changed around. Who's going to bed? Oh, Peter. Peter says, "I'm off to bed, lads. Till next time." Peter, take care. God bless, and have a really good kit, mate. And thank you for all your support.
In fact, Peter and David Shear were actually thinking of coming over sometime in the future. We'll have to meet up with them, Jose.
Yeah, because Peter and Dave are in contact with each other now. I've got them both giving each other's numbers now, so they're both in contact.
Because I doubt they live close together in Australia. It's quite a big place.
But they speak to each other quite often. So and Tigaro speaks to David as well. I've given their numbers. So yeah, not only do they chat on the screen, but off screen they have good conversations now between all of them. Ryan says predictions is great. And then you've got Ronnie says, "I have done rubbish today." Ronnie, do you know how many points you think you've scored? Because if you could tell me, then I'll say yes to you or no, but I won't give your score away because that's not what I'm like. Okay, I can see what Ronnie's got now.
I think Adrian, treading water this week. Just treading water.
Nita says, "Adrian, you're my old school."
You're in my school. All right.
Ryan G says he thinks he has 8 points. Ryan
I haven't got that. I think I got 5.
No, Ryan G, you haven't got 8 points. Ronnie says 4 points. Yeah, you have got 4 points at the moment, Ronnie. Big John says he's got 4. Big
But
John,
you got
yes.
2 games tomorrow and a game on Monday. So
Yeah,
you're doing your results Monday with the game.
No.
Tuesday.
Big John's got Big John. You have got 4 points. David Shear says he's laughing at you, Adrian. Saying, Adrian, we are 2,000 miles from each other. And 2,000 miles.
You can walk that. You can walk that, David.
You can go to Scotland and back. Was it Scotland and back? What, 3 times to get to that? 4 times? I don't know. Something like that.
The UK is about 670. I don't know the length of the UK.
I think you can go from England to Scotland and back, and probably halfway up the country.
Land's End to John O'Groats, yeah.
You can probably do that twice, 2.5 times, just to get to the 2,000 miles, I reckon. Mikey says 4 to 6 points. Mikey, I'm not going to tell you whether you're saying 4 to 6, right? Yes, Mikey, you're somewhere in between that. So you're somewhere around the 4 to 6 mark. I can't tell you where you're at. Put it this way, Peter is 3 hours ahead of him. Yeah, because they got different time zones at Noz, didn't they?
600 miles. I just googled it.
Is it 600? So there you go. So
yeah, 300 miles wide at the widest point.
It's three times then. So it's Scotland, from England to Scotland, Scotland back down, back up to Scotland, and 200 miles back down again. That's how far away they live from each other. And you're saying it's just a walk around the park. Just going on a road trip, love. But that's what the Americans.
Just going to go and get a pint of milk.
Yeah, but the Americans do. They say, "Oh, we're just going to go for a road trip. We're just going to go and visit friends. It's a 9-hour drive." Okay, they're just going to go visit friends. I'm like, okay, that's what they call it. Just a little road trip. We're going to visit friends. Lawrence says, "I always like Adrian's robes. I think I may send you a hammer robe." Some mad buggers do walk it, Adrian, the 2,000 miles. Destiny says, I must have got 6 minimum. Destiny, where are you, Destiny? I'll need to find you and I'll tell you. What you saying? What you saying? You got 6 minimum. I will tell you whether you have 6 minimum. A yes or a no answers for you. It's a no, I'm afraid. You haven't got 6 minimum. That's a no. You have less than 6. David Shear reckons he's at 2. Mr. Shear.
I had Southampton to win.
Mr. Shear.
They did the Spurs and that's 3-2.
Mr. Shear, you haven't even got 2. You're less than that, mate. It says Western Australia can fit Europe in it. So the whole of Europe can go into just Western Australia alone. Shows you how small Australia actually is, doesn't it? On the map, it don't look that big, does it? On the map, God, is it though? God. On the globes, you used to get the round globes, and you have to spin them. You spin it to go down to Australia. And look at when you spin it. You look at Australia, you think, "Oh, ain't that big?"
But they're not to scale. If you look at the UK, like Britain on a map, it looks quite big next to France, but France is as big as Iraq. If they were in true scale, we would be like minuscule. But the reason the maps are done like that is to show us in detail.
You got David Sinclair says, "Ding, the dummy hits the TV." What's Big John saying? The Proclaimers walked 500 miles.
Bare feet, was it, or
what? Lawrence Watkins says, Jose, you didn't post my comment about where I am. I give Spurs a few bones and forget about you. I did say where you're from. You're Lexington, Kentucky, is what you say all the time to me. I did say that earlier. Lexington, Kentucky, because what you always say. And you were born, you're native of Baltimore. You're a Navy sailor who drank all around the world. What do you mean? I haven't read these comments that I have. Oh, yeah. Curado Soprano, ring any bells? Yes, Curado Soprano does ring bells. Daikara, look at this. We're blessed we've got Daikara. Good morning, all. What a wonderful morning. Why is it a wonderful morning in Australia for you, Daikara? Is it warm? We have earlier on we had 80 Fahrenheit from Nick in America says it's 80 Fahrenheit. David Shear says it's 30 degrees where he is already this morning, I think he's saying. Daikara, is it a good and what a wonderful morning? Is it because of the sun's out or is it something else, Daikara? Please tell me.
Daikara, good luck with the spiders and the snakes, mate.
Oh yeah. So in saying that, what's
The funnel web spiders.
He says
If you're on the toilet and someone bites you, you've got to have a good friend to suck the poison out of your butt.
Dekaru says it's sunny, glorious, and the Hammers got hammered. Dekaru, I'll go one better than you. So this is like playing a hand of poker. I'm going to raise you, and Arsenal got beaten. How's that trump you? That trumps you, Dekaru. Not only is it sunny, glorious, and the Hammers got beaten, but Arsenal also lost. That trumps you, Dekaru, I'm sure. Ryan G says, I can't have less than 8 points. Just check my scores.
Nothing better than looking at Lego Head when he's giving a press conference when Arsenal lose. Like, you know what I mean? He does look like Lego Head, though, doesn't he, when you look at the character like that for Lego?
I didn't say you had less than 8 points, Ryan. I just said you haven't got 8. There's no point in me telling you that
you've got more than 8.
If you haven't got 8, I'm not going to tell you you've got 8. If you haven't got 8, you haven't got 8. Lawrence was saying, what's Lawrence saying? I was referring to, you can find me on West Ham's unofficial. I do some pre-match game reviews and short clip reactions after the match. Oh, do you? Okay, I didn't realise that, Lawrence. So have you got? Do you have a link for that or anything, Lawrence? If you want, put your link in the chat, and I'll put it up there because I didn't realise you did that.
Look at David Spears. Yeah,
Adrian, they suck you dry and call you dust.
I'm never going to Australia. Oh, them spiders are big. Some of them are like 3 foot tall. They've got faces. Some of them shave, apparently. You know what I mean?
I went to sleep after the Spurs game, so I haven't seen the other results yet. You bring me good news, Jose. Very good news. Yes, Arsenal were beaten 2-0, and they had William, the world-class defender, Saliba, sent off. So Lego Head is missing him for 3 games. And I think one of them games is Liverpool.
It's the Liverpool game, yeah, their first one.
Liverpool-Chelsea tomorrow.
No, Arsenal. Saliba's out.
Arsenal, they lose him for the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
Right.
So, who you right? So moving on, right? You don't play till next weekend now, do you?
No, we don't.
Tony?
Yeah.
You must be at home next week, surely.
Yeah, who's it again now? Bear with me a quick.
Yeah, we play.
Yeah, we played midweek. Yeah, we play Alkmaar, don't we?
Did Palace play today? Or they
Palace play Monday.
Monday
against Forest.
Yeah. So next time we are at home, and that's against Man United.
So you got Man U next week. That's all right. That's an easy 3 points. If you can't beat ETH, God, you got issues. That's an easy 3 points for you, especially with Kudos. I know Kudos been sent off, especially with Bowen, Somerville. You get that right, you know, your front four right, you'll terrorise them. We did. The only thing I found West Ham was short on today is midfield. I did find them short today because remember what I said on the other show? When I saw that you had Guido Rodriguez playing, I was like, yes, happy days because he's one of the slowest players I've seen. But today, every time he sniffed out danger, he went for absolutely everything. But the 2 players that let you down in midfield, who I didn't have down as letting you down, were Paquetá and Souček.
Yeah.
So, and with Man United, it's their midfield that you got to get through. And if you can bypass their midfield, you can win the game comfortably. And that's what everyone's shown so far. And
how many yellow cards has Paquetá got? Because I can never see him go.
He got one. He got one today.
Without getting a suspension, I can't see it. It's just his temperament. He's very skillful. He's a very skillful player. He is a creative player. But when I've seen him, the little I've seen of West Ham, he's just he's got that sort of feisty temperament, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's going to pick up the yellow card, and I just think you're going to pick up more than 5 to get a suspension. We got 3-on-3 yellow cards at the moment because VDV's got 3 now to go with Madison, and Romero hasn't got 1 this season.
Oh, these get annulled after the 28th or 29th of December, don't they?
19th game, halfway through the season. 19th game.
Yeah,
and if you get 5 yellow cards in the second half season, you get a 2-match ban instead of 1. So that's the way it works. So
you Tony, do you know the answer to this? Do you think it will be more than 3 games for Kudus? Kudus will get done for free, won't he? Because it's violent conduct.
It'll get done for free. That's a minimum. It depends if they review the actual situation and then decide to charge him for more. But, it's a minimum 3 anyway.
But so
If he
what?
gets-
What's Saliba? Is Saliba?
He's a
So
free
they-
match. He should be a free match one as well.
Is it? Because I thought to myself that if you got a direct red, because didn't our boy Dragosin, didn't he get a 1-game suspension for a direct red?
Yeah, that's in Europe, and he got that. That's because it's last man.
Yeah, but same as Saliba. Saliba was last man.
No,
of
it
the day.
wasn't violent though.
Saliba's wasn't violent, no, but he was last man, and so was Dragosin. And Dragosin only faced one match ban for that red card.
Well, I don't. Well, with Saliba, he had his Dragosin was like more of a pullback, wasn't it?
So was Saliba, wasn't it? I mean, I haven't seen
I haven't
it.
seen it, but if Tone says he had his arm around his neck and pulled him back, I don't know if that's classed as violent or not.
So what did Dragosin do? Dragosin pulled the player back.
Yeah, he did. He stopped.
So-
him.
I suppose it comes down to the referee though, how he deems the actual challenge, because obviously they have their own category, don't they?
Mm.
So yeah, Saliba could possibly be a 1, but looking at what Kudos did, it's a minimum of 3 anyway. Yeah, one he's put it in there. Look, 1 game ban. So that's going to be the Liverpool game.
Is it a 1-game ban then? Okay, so Ronnie's put it in there.
I think Kudos is going to be a 3.
And then you've got a question from Tekken for you, Adrian, and he says, let me see, was Tekken's one was here a minute ago. Right, Adrian, do you think Troy's Parrott scores Thursday night?
For Alkmaar. No, I think we're just going to batter them.
They were beaten tonight at home by PSV 2-1.
They're not. I mean, I was
But they had
just
a-
Charlie
they had-
Piper who comes
sorry,
on. He's a Dutch fan. Follows
AZ
the Dutch league.
AZ had a player sent off after 10 minutes, and they only lost 2-1. And their goal, their consolation goal, was in the 90th minute for Alkmaar. So they were 2-0 down after 22 minutes, and they only lost 2-1 in the end at home.
They're going to come and sit deep, aren't they? So, and hope. I don't even know if they've got any pacey players that'll win. I like Troy Parrott when I see him in his early years. I mean, I watched him a little bit. I thought, oh, he's going to go and do something, but I was proved wrong. But we sold him for $8.5 million, so we got something for him.
And then you've got Destiny saying Paquetá is class, but lacks discipline and mentality.
Yeah, he looks a quality player.
David Shear says, yeah, I found a good mood on the other side of the bed. Come on, you Spurs. Nita says, thanks, Ball. I clap if I get 6 points in predictions. Thank you all. 3 points in the bag called sweet. Tottenham till I die. Know that. I don't even know how many you've got, Nita, but you think you've got 6, I think, Nita, is what you're saying. And Nita, you're not right. You haven't got 6. But I know you'll clap if you get 6. You're not far from 6, Nita. But there's still 3 games to go. Ryan G says Paquetá loves a card because he's got a bet on it. Oh, Ryan, that's a bit below.
Have we got this cynics in the fan base that think like players want to get enough yellow cards as a band over Christmas?
And then David Shear says, anyway, have to go, gents. Thanks for a brilliant show. Haru. Yes, thank you very much for joining us, David.
But
Ronnie
the funny
said-
thing on the yellow cards, you did have it back in the day where like a player, if you was in the FA Cup and you were 1 booking away, right? You like for missing the semi-final, you would deliberately get the booking to miss the semi-final in case you got to the final, you didn't want to miss the final. So that has been known to happen in the past where people have been suspicious about that. Like,
you've got Dekara says Kudus. We covered this earlier, but it said Kudus could have got a red for putting his hands on VDV's face. Was incredibly lucky. Then he went and did it again. That was crazy. Lawrence says that Kudus will be out for 3 matches, and then he also says that Paquetá has been poor the entire season. Has he? I mean, I've not seen.
I haven't watched West Ham. I don't know.
Yeah, he's made a few errors with the passing, and it's like sometimes I don't know. People are saying it could be the the charges coming up, the cases. It's due to go to hearing, and is that playing on his mind? But yeah, he's not. I wouldn't say he's been great.
Did he? I mean, obviously, I'm not too familiar with where the process is at. But did he have? Obviously, you get charged, and then you got a right to appeal, haven't you? You get, I don't know, 2 weeks, 18 days, whatever it is, to put your appeal in, and then you get a hearing date after that. When did the appeal happen? Do you know? When did he have to? When did he have to answer the charge, so to speak?
I'm not too sure off the top of my head, but I think he has kind of done that process.
Was it a while ago? Or was it recently?
It was a while ago, because I think he's just dragging its arse out, because I think the problem is now the Prem want to kind of do him for 2 other things, so but they want to give him a lifetime ban. At the end of the day, it's like we want to make a scapegoat of one person, so everyone can realise if they do this is what you're going to face.
Well, it's not really a scapegoat, because Tony got done for betting. I know it's different because he was betting on teams, and they're saying that Packard did it differently. But to me, it's still gambling either way, whichever way you look at it.
Yeah.
But he's probably the first player that's going to be accused of taking. Well, he will be. He's going to be the first player that's been accused of taking cards or getting cards to influence either himself or betting rings. So.
We're still waiting what's going to happen with Bentancur, aren't we?
Well, that's what I was just about to say, because with Bentancur had, this is a while ago, this has got to be about 3 to 4 weeks ago now, Adrian. Bentancur he was given 14 days or whatever to answer the charges, which he must have done 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yet we've not now heard anything since.
I think he'll get a suspended sentence, personally.
There is a school of thought to say that if he gets a good legal team, they will turn around and say it's outside of Tottenham's jurisdiction.
This is the difference.
Sorry, outside of the Premier's jurisdiction, should I say.
When Enzo Fernandez and that crew got done for singing that song about the French team, that was done during a FIFA competition. So the way the rules work is FIFA have to take control of that, right? It's their jurisdiction.
Right.
When Bentancur got done, he wasn't under a Uruguayan Football Association international game, right? So then, obviously, we didn't hear nothing about it. So obviously, those politically correct gurus out there, or those that lean a certain way politically, obviously pressured the FA to act. You bet your life the FA didn't really want to get involved in it. They don't like to get involved in anything controversial, do they? Right? So they've now had to take it up, and then all the rumours in the paper. Oh, this is a 6 to 12 game ban for saying that all Koreans look alike. Basically, that's what he said. They were talking about shirts out there. So, all right, we know what the culture is like in South America. It's not. They don't have the same social values we had, like back in the 70s when we had game programs like Mind Your Language and It Ain't Half Hot Man, things like that. We've moved on.
Love thy neighbour.
Those countries, yeah, I mean, yeah, those countries to them. Yeah, but that was different, because you couldn't have a more left winger than Johnny Spade. I mean, that was just a parody of a bigot. Alf Garnett was the character in Sickness and Health. And
who did he support in that? In that, I know he supported for real, but who did he support in that program?
West Ham, but he was a Spurs supporter.
I know he's a Spurs.
I had my arm around him, Warren Mitchell, coming out of we'd played Middlesbrough at home. And he came out the ground and we spotted him, and I put my arm around him. All right, Alf, there you go. And I was going at him which one? Yeah, we called him Alf, No, it was cool. And but that was just a parody of a bigot of everything wrong with an uneducated English person back in those days. It was like taking the piss out of yourself, basically. So that's why it was so accepted, and that's why it was so loved, because he had so many flaws, didn't he, Alf Garnett? So funny. And if you go back and look at them now, they're still fucking funny, right? They're not politically correct, probably, but funny, right? But,
not politically correct.
Yeah, well, funny. Throwing ink over the Queen's portrait, you know what I mean, and things like that. You know? It made me laugh. I remember one episode was going he said there was going we should never have educated those Arabs. He said, worst thing we ever done. He said, they were quite happy with the sand and the flies before we went out. I mean, like, it was so fucking funny. And
Right.
it made 2 feature films. I know we're going off track a bit.
Before I lose my audience, right?
Yeah,
let
go
me just catch up with the chat. I'll be wearing my Atmar jersey Thursday. My Dutch friend gave it to me. It's their rugby jersey, so it's okay. Not supporting their football team though. Lawrence says that he's not been officially charged with a penalty yet. Mikey Romero says that Sandro Tonali got banned as well, which he did.
Yeah.
Nita's saying, thanks all. We do love. I can't hear you. Pick, choose, and refuse. Tottenham Hotspurs for me always. Ronnie says Outmar lost 2-1 on Saturday to PSV, but played with 10 men for 80 minutes. Lawrence says big up the Hammers. And now where is the thing that I need to find? Because there was a chat thing here that I need to find. If you bear with me a second. Adrian, don't say anything about the olden days because you'll get me sacked.
We said that.
I'm saying it to you. Don't say anything about the olden days. You'll get me sacked. Your jokes will get me canned. As they say. Right. What I wanted to find is that I want to find Tony's link again. So for anybody who's here at the moment that hasn't subbed over, please go over and sub to Tony. Fantastic gentleman of the community. Although he supports West Ham, he's part of us. He's a good fella, and yeah, please support him. He's trying to get to 500. He does a lot of hard work, and we need to get him there. So if we can help anyone along the way, we're normally a good fan base, we're a good community, and we normally tend to do that.
Yeah, it is a good community.
So please go and support Tony. Adrian, everyone here is already subbed to you, so at the end of the day, putting your one up is just about. But the thing is, tomorrow you're both on at the same time, gentlemen, aren't you?
We're on at 8, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you got going on tomorrow, Adrian, on your channel to let people know?
It's EMF for the other admin. He's doing the other co-founder. He's doing his show tomorrow. He'll be doing the post-match West Ham, amongst other things, but that'll be the main theme.
Yeah. So
and Tuesday I'll be doing pre-match Alkmaar, and Friday
post-match Alkmaar,
and
pre-match
Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So that's
8 o'clock tomorrow evening, Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Spurs Diehards TTID. Adrian and his crew can be found over there at 8 o'clock. And at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Tony. It's gone quiet, Tony, isn't he?
Yeah, it's the Sunday night takeaway show.
Yeah.
And what can people expect tomorrow on the Sunday night takeaway show?
I think we're going to probably see some fireworks, that's for sure. Post-mortem, dissection, mortuary, graved, the whole shebang going on with this one. I think it's going to be quite a topical debate tomorrow night.
But there's nothing to debate.
There is. Sack the board, sack the manager, get rid of the whole team.
If I'm on there,
you know what I mean?
If I'm on there and Fuzzy's on there, then there's no debating. We're just going to be laughing at everyone else, aren't we?
It's not the first time it's happened, though, Jose. I must admit, me and Fuzzy, we did that before when West Ham and Man U were doing very well, and the other lot were just kind of down in the dumps. It was great. Now it's our turn to have it from you guys.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but what I'm saying, I don't know whether Fozzie will give it to you. I won't. I'm going to be just if I'm there, I'm an innocent bystander watching the carnage. So I'll be sure to be telling a few people when I'm over here. Come and give them some stick, will you? And then I'll be hearing people say, "But you don't know your history." I'll be hearing all that. That'll all come out.
I think West Ham are sixth from bottom there.
Yeah, we moved down. I think we moved down in one or two places. Not good at the moment, but I think, as you said earlier, Adrian, once he gets once he starts getting it working and it starts clicking, then we'll see some progression. But we've got to just give it time.
Yeah. There's always the cups. I mean, I could still see you finishing like. When I look at the teams that are there now, and with Chelsea improving this season, and Man United, if it can get a tune out of that squad. They've always got a lot of players at Man United, haven't they? You know, pick from. Always got a lot of players. He's got to get some sort of tune out of them.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, the teams above us, I mean, I think we're 7th or something. Okay. Then it's not, I don't know whether it's not included. So if I'm looking West Ham, I'm looking sort of like 9th and 10th to finish or something like that. Unless you went on a fantastic run. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously.
You got Tech in there saying good night to us all. Good night,
Yeah,
Tech,
good night,
and
Tech.
have a great remainder of your weekend. And Lawrence is saying that you need to get onto your show. You've told him yes. Then he said, Jose, be nice, mate. I gave you cash. Lawrence, I said that I was nice to the West Ham. It's some other people that I can get people to come on the show and put into the chat lots of different comments. But it won't be against the West Ham mob. I won't be telling them that. It'll be somebody else. Daikaru says, I'm just happy that even though we are lower in the table compared to last year, the Ange style is clicking a lot more this season. Long way to go, but I love what I'm seeing. I think we all do, to be honest. Well, I do anyway, Daikaru, and I've made it clear that I feel that we're a better team, even though we've lost 3 games
I
already.
don't know so much it's clicking. The football's been better because in the majority of the games, we've had over 60% of possession, which means that obviously you've got to be playing football. But the point is, we ain't won the majority of those games. That's the difference. We should be sitting like, well, at least we should be up the top, really, sitting on at least another 9 points. You know? We should have beaten Newcastle, beaten Leicester, you know. So that's 5 points dropped.
This is how to slant them, hold on, sorry. Here we go. That's right. Good evening, lads, to an Arsenal channel who are doing their match analysis and player ratings.
Is that Robbie? Is that Robbie?
No, this is an Arsenal channel.
I'm talking about Robbie. Robbie's got a big AFTV, isn't he?
No, I don't go on that piece of shit.
Oh, I used to when they were a meltdown before they won everything off because it was just good fun. It was good therapy hearing them all moan. Right?
But it's funny because they're doing a hashtag Arteta out now, it says.
Ridiculous. They finished second yesterday and they won last year and they won him out. You know what I mean? It's just.
But they're doing the ratings. They're doing the ratings with a couple of Liverpool fans. Oh, what's going on? I've got it on mute, so I don't know what they've just shown my. I've just shown my comment, but I don't know what they're saying about the comment. Well, anyway, the comments come off now. Good lads. Have fun, Arsenal fans. Right. Sorry, I'm getting knackered now. It's 25:12. Listen, chaps, thank you very much for coming on and for spending some time. Adrian, you got up really early this morning. You normally have a line. You can have that tomorrow because you was up early this morning. I know you were because you were speaking to me, so I know you was up early this morning. You can get yourself a line, and Tone, you can have a line as well, can't you, mate? Because you're not on till 8 o'clock tomorrow evening.
That's right.
And it was good when you come home for a win because all the posting I have to do, like in 3 Facebook groups, 2 WhatsApp groups, and like put the videos up, do the write up, blah blah blah. I've got it all done early because it was an early kickoff. If it had been an evening one, I'd have gone bollocks. I wouldn't have bothered.
So people, tomorrow night, the 2 gentlemen that are currently with me on the screen at the moment, both have shows at 8 p.m. If you can only watch one and you can't watch the other, then make sure you give it a like straight away, the one that you can't watch, or give them both likes, watch one, restream the other, because the views are also
what's the other one, even if you put it on mute, because they get the watch hours. That's what I do. Because I'm subscribed to so many channels that, like, if I can't go on, I give them the thumbs up, and I've got them up on the top of the screen and they're live, but I just put them on mute because I'm on somewhere else and they're getting the watch hours as well as the like.
So make sure these 2 channels get the watch hours, the likes, and the views, because they're trying to reach their own milestones, and we are happy to help everyone out. So, but thank you very much to you 2. Thank you very much to AJ who popped on earlier as well. Thank you very much to Mikey Romero who also popped on. Mikey, it was a pleasure seeing you, mate. And you're more than welcome to come on any time. And I also have to thank Peter Kagayas for giving out 15 memberships.
Wow.
Matty Kushner for flexing his muscles with his month membership, and also to Lawrence for his super chat. So thank you very much for sponsoring the show, people. I will be back. Well, not me, but tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have
And a big up to
hold
you
on,
for your
hold on.
comments in the chat as well.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, English time, BST. You've got the ladies' takeover. So you've got Ash and you've got Ellie doing their show tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, all about today's game, I would have thought. And possibly they might even link it to Arsenal's defeat as well. Who knows? I'm not going to tell them what the script is to do their show. They'll just go ahead and do it tomorrow, hence why it's called Ladies Takeover. And for the results show for the predictions, because there's a game on Monday night and then I work away Tuesday and Wednesdays, I will not be doing the results show till Wednesday evening. Is when I'll do the results show this week. So
it's not good enough, but it'll have to do.
Yeah. Thank you very much to you guys for being on, and thank you to everyone in the chat for your comments and for staying with us so late, people here in Europe. So be good. I hope you have a good remainder to your Saturdays. For the people in North America, I wish people a good kip who are in Europe and pleasant sleep, and or the people in Australia starting your day out, I wish you all the best as well.
Yeah.
And with that, me and Adrian are going to say, come on, you mighty Spurs, in the big hands we trust. I don't know what Tony's tag's going to be, though. What's your tag, Tony?
Well, I've got Lawrence there, and he's already done it for me. It's come on your irons, basically, then, is that?
There you go. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care. See you later.
Thank you, everyone in the chat.
Bye.